Taboo, Grand Rising. Is my voice a little low? Grand Rising. Karibu. Salamte. Welcome back. Welcome to dCyfa. Coming at you live again through these airwaves. People on lockdown. Everybody's at home. Resting and relaxing. Taking it all in. Weather's crazy. That's for sure. So we got an exciting program for you today. We're gonna shift up gears and introduce a component that we've been building up for a while. We're gonna have a testimony from Bermudians and their experiences, what they're going through right now, what they feel is moving them to stand up and shift from just being healers individually, shifting towards becoming activists, feeling the need to stand up and represent definitely women on the island, but represent that feminine energy, bringing that feminine energy specifically to dCyfa today, but bringing it out to the island and standing up and being represented, coming forward. Takes courage. Surely, it takes courage. It's not to be underestimated what it takes to stand up when you feel there's injustice. You know, I run the Haile Selassie motto or words of wisdom from His Imperial Majesty on a regular. It motivates me and brings me forward. And these women are also led by that type of an energy, that strength, that mission. And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. I've sat in on some of their meetings. It's a blessed organization that's coming together. The way I view things recently with these changes we're going through. See, life brings you these challenges to see if you can stand up and face them, right? It brings the best out of you when you're in your most difficult situations. And these ladies are definitely demonstrating that they're digging deep and looking for alternatives, looking for ways so that they can represent the unrepresented, represent those that are not quite as courageous to stand forward and to speak, represent those that need a voice and that are being left out of the equation with our government stance on this whole pandemic response, right? So, as we proceed on Judgment Day 5 of the People's Commission of Inquiry into this whole scenario, how we should be responding. We had an update last night. Some interesting information came out last night. We definitely intend to proceed with further discussions on things like Cox postulates and the isolation of this virus in the first place, as we chip away at those pieces that they're doing this balancing act on top of. But today we're going to get that personal feel that these testimonies are from women that they're passionate about what they believe in, and they become activists. So we're collaborating together. That's what dCyfa is about, this collective intelligence, and this is a perfect example of it. So before we get into that part, we're gonna, you know how we do it. Let's get into our deep meditation. We're gonna, well, not too deep. We're just practicing it. We're just building up that skill set, building up the ability, that capacity, right? So in that light, I'm going to bring up the meditation instructions that you've all been, getting used to following. Follow the instructions on the screen, and we're coming to you slightly differently today. Coming to you directly from dCyfa's pages. So take your time out and share that out before we go into the meditation. If you can, click share. Bring that other person in that we described yesterday. Slightly different link from yesterday and previous, the last few weeks, as we continue on. So let's get into that. Assume your posture, get your back nice and erect but comfortable. Nice comfortable seating. You can put your hands on your abdomen so that you can feel that diaphragm expanding and pushing your abdomen out as you breathe in and then breathe out. You can no, it's not actually, so this is not on FreshTV Facebook today. It's only on dCyfa Facebook and dCyfa YouTube. So you can watch it either on dCyfa Facebook or dCyfa YouTube. It's not even on dCyfa webpage today. Those two sites. If you need to yes, let me see. One second. I'm just going to, before we get into the meditation, let me just, because we got a little bit of, let me direct people here so they can, so we got a bit of an audience. And we'll get right into it. Let's get right into this. So share it out. This link is slightly different. You'll see it in we got her. Yes, good morning, Camila. Yes, bless up, Camila, for tuning in. Give thanks. Send this link out. It's a slightly different link. It's not on the Fresh TV link today. So if you can send it directly, that I shared it with you. It's in the Telegram. Share that out, and let's see if we can get that out and get that any of those confusions out of the way, so we can proceed. Yes, bless up. Good morning, Deborah. Bless up, Miss Tucker. Give thanks for being here, supporting us. Bless up. Nice and early. Yes, Moorish is there. Yes, Moorish Institute. Hey, give thanks for yesterday. Give thanks for yesterday. That was that tag team explanation that we was able to clarify a lot. I was meditating on that the explanation you gave of how PCOI works. That was brilliant. Give thanks. Okay, so we got full squad in here behind. So we're coming to you today with the Women's Circle. So stay tuned, share it out. Make sure you get this link out. It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. At just search for dCyfa. You'll see the link. I've shared the link out previously. But let's get into this meditation. I think we got enough of that covered. Let me bring my screen up. Let's get that going. Let's get that out of the way, and then we can work on making sure we got everybody linked in. So get in your positions, relaxed position. Get your yes, Sophia, Grand Rise and Sophia, bless up. Grand Rise and Sophia, what we got here? Yes. Morning, Mary, good morning. All right, so let's assume the position. Let's get that breathing out of the way. Let's get that deep breathing and let's go deep. All right. Follow the instructions on the screen, as you know. 4-4 breathing, 4 seconds in, 4 hold, 4 out, for her. Follow the mantras. We're going to do about 10 to 12 repetitions.
So
Okay. It's never easy pulling out of that. You want to stay there. When you tap in, you got that, you feel all your cells invigorated. Yeah, go to the source. That's how we're going to get balance. Go into the source. You see, man solutions, he does something, creates some ripple effect, recognizes the ripple effect, you know what I mean, the symptoms, but don't see the cause that he generated in the first place. And then try some remedy, you know what I mean, some man-made remedy, always focusing up here for the solutions. No, the solutions here, and you're breathing. Tap into the source. Close that mind off sometimes, and you get clarity there. And that's how we can come together and unify, right? It's not, it's let the thoughts go. Unity is our natural state. So yeah, on dCyfa, FreshTV connection is slightly, we're coming directly to you today, and we're gonna promote this consistently, tapping into the source. You know how we do it. But we got a special show too for you today. We're linking in, we're bringing in the sister circle, that feminine energy for the first time on directly on dCyfa. We haven't had this opportunity yet, and we're coming to you with a flood of it. I hope you're ready, because these are some passionate sisters, some passionate mothers, healers. They're involved in the community outside of this circumstance, but now they're standing up, standing forward, and coming in whichever ways they can find to reach people, to get their message across. And so they decided to come join us here. Let's do some greetings first before we bring them onto the stage. They're patiently waiting. They're backstage. We just finished the greetings. Yes, yes. Sophia, I already greeted you, Grand Rising. Yes, Jan. Oh, yes, Jan, you're in the space. Courtney, bless up, Courtney. Give thanks for being there. You found your way here. Bless up, Grand Rising. Nubia, bless up for being part of this. Let's see what's happening in the background. All right. Okay, got you. I will let me share that. I think I shared it with you directly in Facebook, the link, but I'll bring you one. All right, so I'm not gonna wait any longer. Bring the ladies onto the stage one by one, because that's how I'm got to do it. But it's a collective. This is the circle of women. These activists. You're familiar with them. You know them. They're prominent in the community already. But this cause has caused them to come together and form an organization representing Bermudians in general. And they see where we there's an alignment, where our there's a synergy of the message. So they've come on board and bring their testimony to the table of what they feel in their souls, their hearts, how they're moving, and what they should do next, and bring that message to the people. So I'll start with Mal Dupree. Give thanks. Your mic's on mute. Let me unmute you. You can greet as you go. Jan. Richardson, Sophia Canada,
Greetings.
greetings. And Mary, you let me know if you want to come in. Yes, this is the circle of women. The circle of women. The Bermuda circle of women. Coming to you live and direct here on dCyfa to share a message. And we'll have this conversation. Mary, you let me know when you want to come in, if you want to come in from the beginning. If you're ready, um, I'll bring you right in. You want me to bring you right in? Mary, you want to come in right now? Give me a little indication. Okay, let's bring Mary in also. All right. So we got the Circle of Women on board. Morning, morning. Um,
Good morning.
Good morning.
greetings,
Morning.
greetings, greetings to everyone.
Greetings, Mary,
Um,
Sophie, Mel.
yes. So let's get into this conversation. Let's start sharing. Let's see where we can take this. Um, Mal, we got Mal back in. Oh, Mal dropped out. We'll get her back in a second. As soon as she adjusts her camera. So talk to us. Talk to us. Who's Sophia? Do you want to start off and give a background into where you stand as a group, and then we can go in individually?
Can
I
I
think
can I start with that?
Jan needs to start with that.
Let Jan start with. Let's let Jan
Thank
start with.
you.
Um,
Good morning. Can you hear me well?
we hear you perfectly well.
Okay, so I'm hearing an echo. Do I have to turn off the volume somewhere
Let me
for
see.
myself?
And you have the headphones in,
I have the headphones in, yes.
and still hearing an echo. As long as everybody has the, because I'm not hearing echo. Is anybody?
Okay. Maybe it's just how it's coming back to me. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Okay, what I'd like to do first off, as is customary for us, is to ask Mary to say a prayer for us, please.
Okay.
Are you good with that, Mary?
Yes, yes, that's fine.
Great.
And Iman should. Already? Dear Lord, we want to thank you for who you are. We've made it to another day. And despite everything that's going on around us in our world, in our community, even in this little island of Bermuda, you are there and you are guarding. Help us as we have this meeting today that you will be lifted up and all will be for your glory and honor. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Selah.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
good morning, everyone. Are you hearing me well?
Yes, and we got Mal
Okay,
back.
great. Okay, great. So I'm Janine Richardson, and here representing with the Circle of Women. We are a team of women strong, that found ourselves together at the beginning of the COVID dilemma in 2020. We each come with our own personal beliefs and passions, and found that we have similarities in those passions, in our belief of our almighty creator and our understanding of our sovereignty as coming under the law of God and the law of nature, and that we saw things from a different perspective as opposed to the narrative that was promoted to us and still is being promoted to us. And according to our own individual truths, we decided that we should stand to assist our family, friends, and loved ones, and humanity as a whole, because this is a worldwide situation. So personally, I've been in the field of natural therapeutics for over 30 years. Actually, for almost 30 years. I'm not that old yet. Almost 30 years. Certified a natural therapeutic specialist, which is sort of like a combination of a naturopath and an osteopath, which means that I do a lot of hands-on therapies, a lot of specific therapies, which I also merge. That is to correct body ailments and conditions, and as well utilizing all of God's providence that is nature, whatever is out there that it works to heal us, that has been studied and found to be true, from diet, nutrition, herbology, aromatherapy, hydrotherapy, homeopathy, and more than that. So it's basically holistic therapy. And I had this lifestyle myself before I actually studied it. I started partaking of it, just being a person, a nature girl, so to speak, a person that had a close connection with nature and as well a close connection with God, because I grew up as a Christian. And growing forward, I developed my own way of relating with God and nature and then the world. So I decided to become a vegetarian, seeing that it was the best way of eating that would keep my vessel clean. And I found it to be very fulfilling and strengthening. And I just pretty much grew very healthfully. I'm not complete vegetarian now. Right now, I call myself a nothingatarian, and this is something that I I took from one of my teachers, and it's basically utilizing the best of what's available to you wherever you are. So if where I'm at, I have the best fruits and vegetables and whole grains available, that's what I'm using. If I don't have that, and then I find that I would need to maybe use some eggs or some white meat, I would use that. I would even go so far as to say that if I'm anywhere and there's no vegetables and I had to eat and my body's drained and I need to reboost my energy, I'm going to use what is available. Um, but we're fortunate to have the better foods available to us. Uh, Unfortunately, in Bermuda, highly expensive, so it's not that easy being a vegetarian. So
What was the
right
type
now,
of vegetarian again? You said, so not to interrupt you, but
nothing-atarian.
nothing. That's a new one. So did you coin that yourself? That's a new one. I haven't heard that one
It's
before.
it's utilizing the best of what's available. Yes.
And
So okay, so I am pretty much saying that I know what it feels like to be healthy, and I utilize what I offer to my clients for myself. So who feels it knows it. It's pretty
mm,
much what I'm telling them to use. I've used it myself, and I know that it works. So COVID comes along, and of course, there's the scare of getting sick of this from something that's a mystery. So automatically the guard is up to do the right things, to boost your immunity, to top up all the antioxidants, vitamins A, C, and E, to drink plenty of water, get your rest, get your exercise, think positively, expose yourself, be in environments that are positive, and eat the right foods, superfoods. So none of this was recommended to us basically by the regular press conferences, the daily media outlets. We're just saying, be afraid, stay away from everyone, uh, cover up your face, be afraid.
Mhm.
right, right.
So there were things that showed red flags. Okay, so as time went on, it just became frustrating to see that a lot of things that were being said we didn't agree with it from a natural perspective. And as I said earlier, we decided to stand up for ourselves and our loved ones. And I'm gonna go straight here. I'm gonna try not to talk too long at first
Right.
and allow our sisters to introduce themselves and see what they have to say as well. But this is highly important for me. Uh, the Universal Declaration on Bioethics and Human Rights. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to read something quickly.
Okay.
since the 1970s, the field of bioethics has grown considerably. While it's true that bioethics today includes medical ethical issues, its originality lies in the fact that it goes much further than the various professional codes of ethics concerned. It entails reflection on the societal changes and the global balances that are brought about by these scientific and technological developments. And to the already difficult question posed by life sciences, how far can we go? There are other questions that have to be asked concerning the relationship between ethics, science, and freedom.
Okay.
In the Declaration of Human Rights, the preamble says, whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief of freedom from fear and want has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the beginning.
Okay.
And this was written many years ago, the early 1900s. And then we have the Universal Declaration of Bioethics, which was written in the early 2000s. And then we have the Declaration of Human Genome and Human Rights.
Okay.
So, as you heard, the things that we have been speaking up about, a lot of people would say, oh, they're conspiracy theorists. But the fact is, injustices have happened around the world for ages. And it was deemed to be necessary to write declarations of protection for human individuals. And as I just read, contempt for human rights has resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind. Okay, so here we are speaking, standing up for our sovereign individual rights as coming under the law of God and nature and not the law of man. The law of man hinges on the law of God and the law of nature. And this is how I began, from my heart to you all. And let's welcome our sisters in, please.
Okay. Yes. Give thanks for that. Give thanks for that. That's powerful. We're already, that's one in, and we already see the strength of this sisterhood. As we continue, it's your show.
Mary.
Mary, you wanna share something? Oh, you're still on, your mic's on mute. If you could click that.
Thank you. Sorry, and good morning. And it's a great pleasure to be here today, even though I'm reluctant. But I come from a spiritual aspect. I remember when coronavirus first hit, I was like, I'm going to protect Charlene. I'm going to protect my family. And then it started to become clearer and clearer. And I've learned that God has a way of preparing us for all kinds of things. And he can show you what is happening, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. And he reminded me in some ways of Martin Luther King and how he had to stand for the right and the good of the people. We were enslaved, we were being abused, attacked, all kinds of things were going on at that time. And God showed me that and taught me. He had been teaching me even before that about right and wrong. And scripture speaks about there's a way that seemeth right unto a man in Proverbs 14:12. It also speaks about cursed the they that call evil good and good evil. And God was leading me down that pathway. And then it became about our children, the future of everybody. That's what Martin Luther King fought for, our futures. So today, as he was showing me, it became about what's the truth, what's fake. And I had to tune into that. And when it came to my kid, to my children, like he creates us perfect. I saw somewhere we were talking about purpose. We all have a purpose in life. We're not just here just to get up, eat, go work, come home, go work, come home and do all that. It's not about all of that. We have a role to play in this world. Seeing entered from the beginning. And I feel that his calling on my life is to help people see truth and to save mankind. We are our brother's keepers. He's called me to see and try to help my brothers. The blood can't be on my hands. I will live with that. And he gave that in my heart. He put that in my heart. So that's where I come from today. And I'll just keep praying and praying against the evil or whatever's going on and the coronavirus. We need to make sure that we are okay. We don't want to see people getting sick. I'm not anti-vax. I don't have a problem. When my kids were anti-vax, and I believe, because I don't remember everything, my mama vaccinated me, and I've seen the effects of it where it worked out for the good. But I'm not going to deal with anything else. It has to be for the good of everyone. And I'm not just about me, I'm about everybody. So that's where I come from. I grew up in a Christian home, and I walked away, and he called me back, and I'll stay because he's more powerful than anything. So that's where I come from.
Beautiful, Mary.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Yes, as we proceed, that leaves you, Sophie.
Oh, Mel's not here. Okay.
Yeah, Mal has she's having technical difficulties. She's trying to get in. She's put a message there on Facebook also. So as soon as we can get back in, and I know Tracy is also gonna pop in when she gets an opportunity. So it's on you. Yeah. What's your position? How do you?
Everything that Jan and Mary have said, and my primary interest is I'm a recovered person, and I've experienced this wave, this COVID situation with all of my senses, with touch, with I've experienced it with taste. I've heard what my body has said. I smelled it. I've seen it. And with that, no one can take that away from me. So I'm here to share the experience, to talk you through what happened. And I'm a childbirth advocate. So I've already experienced this wrath many times. And so, you just learn to roll with it because people don't like change and they resist and they fight you in every which way they can. But your body can withstand almost anything. It's just your mind that you have to convince. So that's where I come to it. And you can just ask questions and I'll answer.
Okay. So that's a good introduction. We got it on the table. We're the women that are with us so far. There is a bigger group. You guys are about 8 or 9 strong. How many have been in your meetings?
That.
Yes.
About 8 or 9, right? Yeah. Because I said let's go to some let's greet some more. We got a good bit of people in the room. Here we got Deborah. Charmaine says yes. Give thanks, Charmaine, for tuning in. Charmaine Smith there. Jeanette Morrison. Good morning, Grand Rising. Yes, it says, okay. Moorish Institute, always there, brother in support, co-host with us on dCyfa, or major contributor. Hopefully he'll step up and be co-host with us because he is Moorish don't play. And he says, I'm too ready to eat rocks for my nation. That's the sacrifice what God make. It's about that sacrifice for the cause, right? He goes on to say also, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, right?
Yes.
This is a well-studied brother. He brings a lot, and this is what our community has. We gotta figure out, and that's what dCyfa is also about, having this platform so that we can gather together, right, and bring this knowledge sharing, this uh, collaboration space, right? Goes on. Nationality is the order of the day. Every day, definitely. Morris, give thanks for that. Nubia says gives thanks to Jan for her contribution. Mouse says she's having difficulties. Yes, Tracy's there. I know she's teaching in the background, and she'll when she gets an opportunity, she'll pop in. Yeah, she's in. We got Cal Kez. Okay, she says it's not playing for. I hope. Okay, she's got it. She says later on she's got it. Jerry De Deers. She agrees with you, Sophie. Tracy again sends the link out again to everybody. And Camille Nathy says, strength, women, thank you for that strength that you're demonstrating to us and supporting. You got Chef J Ming in the house. Give thanks, Chef J Ming. Bless up to yourself. Bless up from the chest up, as my auntie used to say. So let's get into it a bit more. We did some. I'll try to keep up with the comments so we can have that engagement going on. But so you guys have been having regular meetings on Zoom calls or whatnot. How long has that been going on?
Since December.
Since last year.
Yeah.
Since so a
last
year. Since last year,
Yeah.
you are a year in. All right. And how is that taking shape? What was your call? Who were the first to contact each other? Let's say how that's
That's a good question.
We don't remember.
Yeah.
We just came together.
Deborah Tucker, she's out there. We had started a meeting some time back called the Movement, and I don't know if we're allowed to call the names of the individuals, but the group just gradually grew, and some of those that first started are still with us. Tracy was one of them. Tracy Gibbons was one. Myself, and there was a whole group of people that were in the meeting, and we started to meet and try to plan walks and do everything so that we can. Kimberly's on too, so that we can, try to get the message out to the people. Try to talk positive. We want to give you positive things. We see a lot of information coming out that's negative, like you're gonna die, you're gonna this. But we want to teach people that it's not about dying. There's ways that you can help yourself. We can be okay with this virus. It's not about that. So it started. I don't know if it was September or October when we first started. By December, we were ready for our first walk.
Okay, so how many walks?
We did about 3, right, Janine? 3 or 4?
Yes. I'm remembering 3. Yes.
Okay. Where were the locations? What did you and what was the goal with the walks?
Okay. Well, as Mary said, the first how we first came about being together was in the group that was called the Movement, and Deborah Tucker was there at the beginning, and it was a call. It was basically a plea from people in the community that were alarmed about the decisions that were being made surrounding Corona, and especially how we saw our leaders following exactly what they're doing overseas, which is, it's always been that way, but not to the extent that it is now. Mm-hmm. So, that was alarming for us, and we wanted to stand up for our rights. So that meeting started, and as Mary said, some of us stayed on. It didn't come to fruition where everybody gathered to actually do a movement. The movement itself started in a backyard with people trying to collaborate and figure out what are we going to do, how are we going to help one another. And then it evolved to the chat room where some stayed, some went, and more came, and it's still going on. People are still involved, chatting and supporting one another. So we're standing here strong. So we found that, in all of the chaos and the confusion, there are always questions and uncertainty, right? Because it was a mystery, and people were afraid. So we're trying to be careful and understanding if we should be afraid and what we should be afraid of, and whether or not we shouldn't be afraid and how to stop, right?
Right.
So, so we determined, in respect of the unknown and respect for the individual different feelings, we determined to try to protest in a way that was not going to get us in trouble, per se. And that was to do what became called the silent walk, which is basically showing that we're not afraid of you. We don't know what it is that we should be afraid of, this mystery thing. But yes, like, the air of fear is here. So we're feeling this, but we trust our God and we trust what we already know. So we're showing you that this is what we're going to stand on. We're going to walk silently. We're going to show you our signs that say we're going to breathe the fresh air. We're sovereign beings. We have divine, inalienable rights.
Yes.
We 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 support the right of choice. My body, my choice. My life, my health, my choice. And we want to help you. We want to help one another. So let's get together. So the silent walk put us out there, to show that we're making a stand and trying to get the information out. And it was a really beautiful experience. I mean, the last one we did, it was on the stretch of the causeway,
Right.
and we had our signs and we walked in distance. Some of us had on masks, some of us didn't. And we walked up to the roundabout and then back. But the thing was, we were doing it in sync with the converging of the two planets, the
Mm.
great conjunction.
Ah,
So also recognizing that the world is shifting right now. We're in this unknown space. The so-called new age of Aquarius is coming in, a higher vibration of energy, spiritual energy. The planet is shifting, and as natural beings, we're feeling that we're going to experience that. Every living thing on Earth is experiencing that shift. So it was a big experience. We even had it on footage. We had our supporters doing some filming and helping us to organize ourselves. And Mary put out a strong prayer at that time to the public, which also evolved and went to be a prayer, like a press statement that was published in Royal Gazette, and basically about forgiveness, that regardless of what's going on, we love and support one another. And because God forgives us, we forgive you. This is our only way forward with healing. We offer you our love and our forgiveness. And guess what? Our leaders piggybacked off of that
mm, mm.
and
So
saying right around Christmas, yes, this is a time of forgiveness, and we must forgive Dr. Weldon for making the mistakes she made.
mm,
So I'm just throwing that in there. That was interesting, but I guess it also shows how we are all affected by one another's energy, whether we like it or not. So the best thing is to put out your best, comment from truth and love.
that's so important. Truth and love is so important, and that reconciliation. Um, I'm hearing a bit of echo myself now. Yeah, hopefully that's yeah, that adjusted itself. Yes, that we don't want to disrupt the island, and add to that this space of confusion. But something has to the buck has to stop somewhere, right? Something has
Mhm.
to be done to prevent this our rights from being degraded, right? Or
Yeah.
completely taken away. Let's go to the comments real quick. Karen says, many blessings. Kimberly comes back, says, I'm unable to connect. but she's tuned in, right? She's a part of your team, right? Exactly. Kimberly was
Yes, definitely, definitely.
representing Ubuntu with the Circle of
And
Women, right?
yes,
Yes.
Yes. I
I
sent
am.
her the link. Excuse
Say
me,
that
I'm
again.
sorry,
Mhm.
Iman. I sent her the link in case she pops up in your
It's,
thing.
yeah. No problem. That definitely is completely welcome. Anyone that's a part of your circle is completely welcome. It's your day. You guys, you got the floor. I'll just, moderate and keep some questions coming in and engage in the audience. But she goes on to
uh,
say, I am
yeah,
because we are. And I think I
yeah,
now back in there, right? Important.
exactly. And
Cal,
I'll just say quickly,
yes. Continue.
Kimberly, right? Kimberly coming in right on time, because that philosophy, Ubuntu, is based on truth and love and order, natural order. I
Mhm.
am because we are. When I heal, you heal with me. I can't heal without you. I am here because you are here. This philosophy coming out of Africa, an old way of living, lifestyle of being in relationships, it is ultimately healing, and it is something that we find needs to be utilized here in the West to help heal ourselves, heal our relationships, and learn how to uplift one another unconditionally.
Okay. That powerful message. That's ancient, right? That's connected to us, our existence. That idea, I am, we are. Powerful. I'm gonna add Mal back to the equation. Let's see if she can introduce herself. Mal, fundamental part of this circle of women. Are you? Can you unmute your mic and give your contribution, your introduction?
Good morning.
Morning, Mel.
I'm actually having a lot of disruptive audio, so I don't know if I
Yeah.
will be able to stay, but if we could just try it. I don't
It
know if you
sounds
can
good
hear
on this
me.
side. Yeah, it sounds good for me. If the
Can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you perfectly well.
Okay. But it's just it's distorted. Me hearing you guys is distorted, so I don't know if it'll be productive me being here. But I'm happy just to say a few words,
All right.
and to say thank you for having us. The meditation was so beautiful, to take the time to come into oneself, is an honor and a blessing. We don't do it often enough, unless we make an effort. It just doesn't fall into our. So what a great way to start this broadcast. I'm here with this circle of women. Why am I here with this circle of women? Because no man is an island, right? We have to do this together. We don't live independently of one another. So to come and collaborate and commune with people of like mind, for me, is very important. I've spent a lot of time feeling isolated. So in a way, this crisis that the world is found in has been a blessing in some ways. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes, yeah, it definitely. If we look at it optimistically, that
But
everything
to
happens
deal
for a
now
reason.
with
Continue.
so I couldn't even hear the question. You were starting to ask something, but I couldn't hear it. So I'll just say something and then I'll finish, and then I'll come off. But so to deal with this crisis, so how then do we deal with this crisis? Or I can only speak to how I've been dealing with the crisis, and that is to actually just check myself. Where am I? What are my beliefs? What is my level of health? What is my immune system doing? And I know that my natural immunity will get me through this if I'm doing the right things. So if I'm doing things to promote my immunity, I have to rely on me, because there are no guarantees anywhere external to ourselves. We have to trust and tune in and align with what's going on inside of us, and do the things to promote those, to strengthen those things. So if we are spiritual beings having a human experience, starting from a place of energy, we have to understand that, and we respect that, and we align in that. And then we can be in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in the physical world looking outside and doing all these external things, well, what are we truly doing with ourselves? We don't know, because our attention is outside. So it's really important to come home to self. And I make it sound like, oh yeah, that's so easy. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that as you want to understand it and you start to build on that step by step, it becomes more of who you are. And you can then decipher the issues of, you know, what's going around you, and that different from you, and then how they integrate.
Mm-hmm.
That's clear.
Okay.
Because I think
Yeah.
the thing is, you know, it's a question of natural immunity versus forced immunity. The natural immunity is what's happening within us. The forced immunity is what's happening external to us. And then where do we put ourselves between those two? And it's individual for everyone. And you know, I would never tell anyone not to get the vaccine or the experimental biological agent. If they feel aligned to do, then do that. But if someone doesn't feel aligned to do that, then don't do it. Absolutely don't do it. But you have to know what you feel aligned to. And if we don't know ourselves, we can't even make that distinction. So I'm here on my own healing journey, and then to serve humanity and to share that with.
She dropped out.
Okay. All right. I take it that's just complete. Yeah, that's very strong message. We got your video now for a second. It's in and out. All right. I think that's our message. I'll shift gears and continue on. So yeah, equally a very strong message of natural immunity that everyone is that your whole group is putting forward, because it's being heard in the media, right? We're not getting this message coming to us from the media. And so you women stepping forward and doing the activities you've been doing, meeting on a regular basis, to be commended. The impact will grow over time. Like I mentioned in the equation that I use here, you know what I mean? If we can reach 2 people, if one of us can reach 2 people, and we just make that an activity and then empower those 2 people to reach another 2 people, the impact will grow. It will just grow, and we give it the time to occur naturally. We build that strength. There's that feel the fortification between us, right? And we can move mountains, right? We can move mountains. The potential is immense. So I commend you ladies for what you've done so far, but let's get into what you got in store in the future. You've been discussing some potential activities.
Excuse me, Iman. Can we allow Sophie to come in first?
Yes. However, and we got Kimberly in the room also. I don't know if you want Kimberly.
Okay, hi Kim.
Or you would, or Sophie to continue. You let me know. So you guys, what would you prefer first? Bring Kim in and let her do an introduction.
Yes,
Oh,
please. I think that's
All right, so let's bring Kim in.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
hi Kim.
So if you want to introduce yourself, Kim, and your role in the organization or the group that you guys have formed, and what motivates you to stand up? Do you hear us? You got us? It's your Kim.
Yes,
It's your
I
floor.
do. I'm getting a lot of repeating.
You hear an echo also.
Echo, yes.
And do you have phones in by any chance? And is your
I do.
Okay, just interesting. We'll have to see how we can solve that. So yeah, do you think you'll be able to contribute, or would you? Are you getting on?
Yes, I would love to.
All right, well, go forward. Speak to us. Talk to us. Why are you in the Circle of Women?
It's kind of frustrating I'm hearing us like 3 times over, but I'm just gonna go ahead with it. Greetings, everyone. I just want to express myself as far as Ubuntu goes and my involvement with the Circle of Women. Sending you all love and hope through this pandemic.
Yes. Okay. I think she's.
Can I ask a question, Iman?
Yes.
Oh, Kim,
Yes.
if you have on more than one device, will the volume be affecting how we hear ourselves?
I'm gonna step outside.
Iman, do you know? Do you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, but definitely when we're all in this space, there's any other noise happening that's entering your mic. So if there's any noise in the room, whatnot, it's going to create this cascade effect of the sound compression, shutting down your mic so that there's no noise on everybody else's mic, and it just creates this cascade. But let's proceed. I'm not sure if Kim is still experiencing that same thing. Let us know if you're still, because it sounds fine on our side. Let me see what she's. Okay,
Yes, I am experiencing it, and I'm hearing like three of the same messages at a time. So I'm trying to follow along. Bear with me, please.
Yeah, that challenging. Yeah, doing sound checks and getting that all solved is optimal. But this is a short turnaround, and we'll work with it as best as we can. Maybe I'll pull you out.
Thank you, Iman.
So maybe
okay, well, here I go. If we could just listen, I guess.
Okay.
So with Ubuntu, I am living by example. I was brought to this circle of women. It's a real blessing to me. It's an answer to prayer, and the support is phenomenal. With Ubuntu, I would like to spread love and us to unite as a people, even supporting each other with business and bartering, getting back to basics. I believe we have been brainwashed by the system that we live under. And as I mentioned already, let's get back to basics, people, and know our true selves, connect to Mother Earth. I want to big up Anika Best in Barbados for her efforts with Mother Earth and everything she has done to enlighten people as far as connecting with the earth. Okay, I think I'll come out right there. Blessed love, everyone. Have a great day. Stay up. Keep loving and living and getting together and uniting. Thank you.
Yes, blessings, sister. And we agree, big ups to Anika Best, representing out in Bahamas.
Yes, give thanks for that message. Definitely. Yes, give thanks to Anika, Mother Earth. Go back with her over the summer. She's an advocate for all humanity. She's progressive. She's a musician and artist and tremendous individual human being. And it's a pleasure to do anything with her Mother Earth movement. Bless up
Mhm.
if she's catching any of these vibrations we're sending out to her. Bless up. So let's go to a few of the comments real quick. We've got quite a few coming in, and I see Sophie, you're doing double duty. You're engaging with Texas.
Always.
You got like you're like that the Buddha with 8 arms. You're managing everything. All right, so we got Jared Regis in his space. Give thanks, Jared. Cal says Sophia.
Girl.
Health effort. Reads push for vaccine. Right. That's it. That's the only message they send. As if herd immunity or just natural immunity can only be achieved through a vaccine. That's just such a distortion of reality. Jeanette Morrison giving you big ups. Says beautiful Jan. So give
Hi,
thanks.
Jeanette.
Okay, Cal. She says she heard you clearly. So let's just get into Sophia's comment here. Many practitioners were intending to use the antibody test. However, with the arrival of the experimental shot, it would directly undermine the government. You want to go in on that a bit yourself, Sophie?
It's exactly that. When I returned when I was interested in obtaining the antibody test, I called every lab, and they either said that they were understaffed and couldn't do it at this time, or that it was not allowed. They were not allowed to do it, and only the hospital lab would do it upon people who were being admitted via emergency. I called the health council, spoke at length to a gentleman there. I called the chief medical officer's office and spoke to the surveillance head of surveillance. No, we're not offering it anymore. So eventually I connected with Dr. Henry Dowling, who is amazing, and he understood and said, right, well, I'll be able to sign off on the forms, the lab forms for you and your family to take the blood tests at the hospital. It took 10 days to return, and we had our results. Wow. So you have to push to get what you want.
Okay, and you definitely are not one to bow down to any pressure.
I just ask why. You have to be curious and inquisitive and just grow some, skin on your back. Like, I don't care what anybody says. This is, as Mary says, this is to do with our people and our health, and it starts with us. And if we can represent us and our families and take care of us, then we Ubuntu, we take care of others. You have to figure it out and not be afraid and stop asking why me and why us, and just get on with it and do it. Find out. There's always another way.
Yes. And so we got to be persistent. It's that persistence.
Yes.
So that's what this event is also. This occurrence is bringing the best out of us. The ones that have been in the waiting for an opportunity, whether they were conscious of it or not, it's bringing that hero out of them, right? It's bringing that strength and that courage out of them. And I commend you guys for everything you're doing, for your family, for standing forward and coming out and exposing yourselves, because you mentioned that you weren't fearful of the virus in the first place. So
me?
Yes.
No.
You never really had a fear, right? Because you believe in your immune system.
Well, I questioned it. I was curious. I wanted to see what it would do to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've given birth 3 times unassisted. So
pain's not an issue.
It's not an issue. So, but I don't live a life where I challenge my immune system and hope for the best. I live a life where I and I encourage my family. They are individuals, but I encourage my family, and I think we do a good job at encouraging each other to not put things in our bodies that are going to overly tax our immune systems. So I wasn't afraid when I traveled to go and see my loved ones, and prepared myself well. And I knew I was going. I knew I was going to to get it. I just knew I was going to get it. I didn't. My husband tells me I shouldn't tell people I went in to intentionally get it, but I don't wear a mask. I wear a face covering. I don't lick shopping carts, but I do wash my hands, you know. So I had it, and I can go into more detail if you want. But I wasn't afraid to get it, and I wanted to see what was going to happen. And I have a story, and I've documented it, and Mel knows it, and I'm here to share that it's doable, but you have to do the groundwork for yourself. COVID, whatever it is, you have to figure out, use it as an opportunity to help yourself to see clearer what you need to do for yourself to change what you're doing, whether it be the way your stress levels are, the way your diet is, the way you put things in, like maybe toxins, overly load your body with toxins. It's a warning. It's a don't abuse me warning. Here, I'm going to throw you this. I'm going to see if you can manage this. And if you can't, then it's a warning to say you've got to work on yourself.
Mm. That's it's the, which is what we have to train our immune systems, right? And so that you have to engage it. You have to be willing to confront and not come from a position of fear. You engage, allow your immune system to work. If you don't train it and give it an opportunity to grow, it'll become weak like every other system in your body, right? Muscular system, any other system. If you don't engage it, right? If you don't use it, you will lose it. That premise, that principle works all the way through. And I think you guys, your family, you embody that. Let's get to some comments again real quickly. Camilla says, well, it's not immunity with experimental, right? This is an experimental treatment, right? You can still get sick and transmit the virus. As you said, no guarantees. Karen says, I like what do what you are aligned with, Mel, right? Energetically, that's the thing. If you are aligned in a way due to fear, that's one lesson, etc. So you it's about your alignment, how you align yourself. Bernie Sparkles says, good morning. Bless up, Bernie Sparkles. Let's see what we got else here. Robert Nasta in the place. Bless up, Robert Nasta. Tuned in from early out. Are the other guests muted? Maybe. Okay, he's talking about the yeah, maybe we could try that, muting each other as we speak. Let's see if the other ones issue. Hearing a little bit of noise now, actually. Well, I'm not sure what that was. Just as we speak about noise. Okay, that was on your
my
side.
house.
Okay, so maybe we can alternate between muting ourselves as we're not speaking, and see how that works to keep it going. Let's see. I'll go down and come back to your other message there, Sophie. So Moore says, okay, yeah, he's talking about the sound. Okay, sadly, people are disconnected with themselves or from themselves, right? With nature, with source, and one quick fix. It's the comfort, right? We been trained. We have this habit of just particularly living in Bermuda when there's so much convenience, right? So much comfort here. We have, we live in paradise, and everything's just a short distance away. You know what I mean? You don't have to, water is right there. People have to struggle for water, struggle for, clean water, for clean things that we have readily in abundance here. It's costly, but the cost of living it balances out. So Bermuda it's a difficult scenario because we're so accustomed to that level of comfort, right? Give thanks, Becky, for that comment. Let me see if I go down a little further. Yes. People. Oh yeah. Right. Need to mute. Maybe that'll do it. And then we got a long comment here from Sasha Blackman Adamson. Bravo, bravo, Sophia. We should be calling our doctors to get the antibody test, right? Emphasizing, pushing for that. They're de-emphasizing the antibody test. And there's actually some. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. Mina from Harvard School of Public Health. He emphasizes this very cheap antibody test, paper antibody test that you can take, and that just uses your saliva. You can do it on a daily basis. It's not as sensitive as the PCR test, but it will catch you if you are infective, if you are in the infective state, if you have a high viral load, which is an issue we went into depth yesterday. But let's continue with that statement, right? And demand other treatments. So we have to get out there and be active. This is what you're saying, right? For the ambulatory phase, for the vulnerable, before they end up in the hospital, and it's almost too late, right? That's the issue. We're waiting too long. We're fearful. We don't want to face this on and using our tried and tested remedies, right? Because all of the symptoms are very similar to what we all normally confront. And you can go into that a bit yourself, Sophie, as we come back to you. What would be the symptoms were and how you dealt with it. A year ago, they were fearful. We were all a bit fearful a year ago this time, right? We didn't know what we were facing, right? The 300 deaths that they talked about. Dr. Ashton, that was his quote, right? Dr. Ashton had predicted 300 deaths are coming to Bermuda if we don't do this and do that, right? All that fear talk. And the argument for the lockdown, right, was to flatten the curve. At that time, I've got a meme here. Says, flatten the curve. I think it's a circle now because we're just repeating it over and over, right? That idea is going completely. And here we are again in lockdown, right? With 16 deaths. And that number, I don't want to say I doubt. I total uh, uh, condolences to all the families that have lost their loved ones, but the association saying that it's death with COVID or death by COVID is a grand distinction that is not made clearly. We don't get any of that information, right? Under the banner of uh, uh, privacy, of patient privacy and whatnot. So she finishes with, why is the suppression of treatment, suppression of information, and false insistence that natural immunity will not serve us? I think she went on to say, right? That is the major crime right there. The fault that natural immunity is weaker than this vaccine-induced immunity. We got some more comments coming in, but if you want to go a bit, let's finish these comments as we got them here, right? This time is her story, right? That's what this is about, her story. Kimberly Wilson, you guys, that group had changed her story along the line somewhere. You had brought that in that name. I'd seen that motto in there.
Mm-hmm.
And says, right, Barmy said she takes her temperature every day, right? It's cheap and easy. These common sense things that we do, right? From time immemorial. Hideously pear-shaped. The lockdown now is about a strong arm push for vaccine. Someone had put earlier in the comments, bullying, right? Stop the bullying. It's this bullying effect, right? You come and you just demanding that we abandon our instincts and natural understanding of our own natural immunity. Jeanette Morrison says, connecting back to nature and going within us is our true teacher and our true natural state, right? Tracy says she's back watching. She's back in the space. She finished her teaching duties, I think, for the minute. And then there's some other links and whatnot in the comments. But if Sophie, if you want to go in a bit about your symptoms as you being one of the recovered, that classification, which is an interesting thing, and then we can segue that into the psychology piece. So if you keeping that in mind, what were your symptoms, and then the impact of being one of the recovered.
Okay, just reading from my journal because it was a while ago. I had my symptoms began on December 28th, and I traveled to the UK on December 20th. So I suppose I got it in the UK, like as I arrived. And so on the 27th, I had just been through a week of a lot of emotion of seeing children, being extremely cold in the UK at that time. And I don't like cold. And just emotional conflict with, being with people who didn't who were just aggressive with their way of speaking and not accepting of what our family chose to, how our family chooses to deal with COVID. Mm-hmm. So there was just a big pot of a mixture of emotions. So I take it that my stress levels were high, and so my immune system was wide open for having an attack. Mm-hmm. And so on the 27th, I started with a headache. I didn't want to eat anything, so I was a little lightheaded and a little nauseous, but nothing, no vomiting. And I had aches in my legs. And that tells me that because I have a pre-existing condition of having had children, my pelvis is very flexible. Like, it's very aware, it's very open, and it can be susceptible to like sciatic during menstruation. There's these aches, and women know what that is. So I had more of those aches, and to the point where I just wanted to wrap myself tightly, like bind myself like a mummy, to keep warm and to alleviate movement. And I would just turn like a little slug, like a little roly-poly from side to side. I did have a little bit of a sniffly nose. There was nothing on my chest. And that was it. And that went on. My symptoms actually halted on January 3rd. And we were due to fly back to home, to Bermuda, on the 6th. So, as you do, you have to do a little test to get on the plane in order to come back to Bermuda, a pre-test. So the family did it. And at that time, I knew I was going to be clear. I knew I was going to be clear when I landed in Bermuda, but I wasn't clear in the UK. So I did not, I came back to Bermuda knowing that I was going to be clear, and I was. I landed negative, but my husband landed positive, and he didn't have any symptoms in the UK. He had all his symptoms once he got back to Bermuda, which was just a headache because he had to stay in the house. So that's how it went down. I had a test in the UK. We did the mail tests that you have to do yourself, which was awful. But I did it, and mine came back positive on the time that I took the test. But I knew my body was going to clear it by the time I got to Bermuda. Isn't that crazy? Like, I would have probably shown, had they ramped up it very, very high. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that level thing, but I did arrive negative, and negative all the way through the rest of those PCR tests. And then during that time, and my husband and my children all tested negative as well. But during that time, that's when I was sitting at home for those 2 weeks of staying in with my family in Bermuda, I made all those calls to get the antibody tests. And now we did take them, and it shows that my husband, myself, and my middle daughter have had positive antibodies. But the youngest one, who was with us the entire time, nothing. Very close all the time. Nothing in the UK, no positive test to come back to Bermuda with, and negative the whole time here. So that's my story.
Okay. And so, and then your symptoms cleared. How long did it take for your symptoms to clear yourself?
December 27th through to January 3rd. What's that? 7 days?
7 days you were clear, no remnants, and then from there on, even when you arrived at Bermuda, you had no, you tested negative anyway with the PCR test. But
Yes. But now, as a recovered person, the aches continued, just like sort of an underlying murmur, and especially for me personally, for during cycles, like menstrual cycles, so or times of stress. And so that's what I felt like. Oh gosh, my hips are feeling not as they should, as I know my hips should. But that's just how it affected me. Nothing chest wise, no lungs. I breathe for a living. I teach breathing for a living. So, I that's what I do, and movement. So I just kept moving and eating well. And the other thing is, when I was having the symptoms abroad in the UK, I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't want to eat anything. I wasn't trying to overload my system. I just wanted to have lime, ginger, turmeric, black pepper, juice, and greens. That's it. I just wanted to eat clean, whatever clean is for you. That's what I wanted to eat. And my energy was fine.
And your energy was fine. So
Yep.
you didn't have that severe fatigue that is spoken of with the long COVID concept.
I was tired. No, for long COVID, no. Long COVID for me was, you've had a brush with this, or you've had COVID, because I knew I was positive, and it reminded me that I've had it because I still had some aches, and I used that as an opportunity to keep working on myself, keep eating clean, keep doing it, be ready for the next time. And I'm leaving today, and I'm going to probably get it again.
Mm-hmm. Right. There's a potential, because it mutates, right? Changes seasonally, and you get, exposures.
Yeah.
So Sasha asks, there were some comments before this, but I just this was directly to you. What supplements did you use, if any, right, while you were symptomatic?
Oh, I did homeopathy. I took arsenicum and, where are my notes here? Arsenicum and bryonia, homeopathy wise. And if you look that up for COVID remedies, that's what people have been taking. And then Mel, hopefully when she comes back on, there's actually a homeopathic COVID remedy now. So when we return back to Bermuda, Mel has that, the homeopath has that. And so we took that, and that's been helping just for our state of mind, because homeopathy, it's not just about what your symptoms are and physical, it's mental, emotional as well. So we did that. No other supplements really. Omega-3s.
Omega-3s, and like you said, your lime and ginger and whatnot that you were drawn to anyway.
Yeah, the little shots of lime juice and turmeric and ginger, and you just take a little shot every day.
Okay, wonderful. Which is, you're used to doing that anyway, right?
Yes.
Which is a major piece of this, right? Health in general, and particularly vitamin D levels and whatnot, right? That you have to be proactive in that, right? You can't what's the other one? Not eucalyptus. Eucalyptus and whatnot. These remedies build your system up and prepare you for the season. So it's good to have an outlook that, we're going into what some call, I've heard Dr. Ryan Cole term it, low vitamin D season. take that flu season out of our minds, because that stems under this germ theory idea that there's something outside there attacking us.
Mhm.
There's much more evidence, right? And it's much more holistic to view our system as a balance of all of these different microorganisms that live with us, and they become opportunistic when we give them the opportunity. When we're living outside of our norms, when we're not getting enough sunlight, we're not getting enough oxygen, stress levels are high. These factors that are already within us, in a sense, or as a species, they're all circulating around us. They take the opportunity to thrive when we give them the when we give them the opportunity, right?
Mhm.
So we have to be preventative in our mind state and our thinking. So let's transition into that state of mind that you used, and what does it feel like? The psychology. How do people treat you as a recovered person?
Well, I tell everybody. So I don't,
Right.
there's no shame. There's no guilt here.
There's no shame in your game.
I'm a little different. However, so every piece is pretty, okay, here we go. When I was going to get the drive-in tests at the Bull's Head, I used it as an opportunity to ask those technicians who were there, the young people, had they had it, and I wasn't prying like for their medical information, but actually I would ask them, do you know anybody who's actually had COVID? And they would look at me like, ooh, why is she asking me that? I didn't say, have you had COVID? And they would say, no, we don't. We've never met anybody who's had COVID. And then I would ask them, I would let them know that I've had it, and that they, I'd say, well, this is how it was for me. And this is while I'm getting my nasal test done. And then so I would just take those opportunities, even the people they were young, and most of them would say, well, one girl said to me, I'm afraid of pain. I don't want to take that experimental shot, but I don't want to get the COVID either because I don't like being sick. I remember her distinctly saying that. So I said, well, there's other things that you can do to help your body. So I would take those opportunities for the technicians who were giving those tests. Everybody at the supermarket line I talked to without my face covering on, I'm already 6 feet away. I just say, I've had it. So you just talk to people, just let them know what it was like for you. And there's a lot of feedback, even from my own family. Some of my family members who I'm actually going to see now, well, from a distance, they are not too happy, that I speak out about my feelings about COVID. So there was some backlash there. But that's just individual opinion, and we're just going to agree to disagree on what we feel. But yeah, I'm not afraid to tell anybody. If you want to know, I'll tell you everything, because knowledge is not knowledge unless you can share it and give it away. We need to be more like that with each other. Learn from the recovereds.
That's a big message. Learn from the recovered. Why are we not hearing about the successful recoveries? This success.
It will upset the government's plan. I mean, it is.
Yep.
You go on. You get kicked off of their website of their Facebook page. Like, they don't want to know anything about the people who are healthy because they're not trying to keep people healthy.
That's a big statement, but it's from evidence. You're basing this. This is not just you're not just out to get government or malign them. This has been your experience. They are not demonstrating behavior that's in alignment with health. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's ever so apparent that the activities of this current administration that we've elected and who they have appointed, from the chief medical officer, and whatever position within the hospital in that what they call it, the COVID task force or whatever the name is. right? They have an agenda. They speak with the same. Do they have a roundtable meeting? And does anyone critique the position they're taking? Does anyone bring an alternative view? Because when they come out, I appreciate when a team comes out unified. But in this circumstance, I would like to hear that there's someone in that room that is questioning their position. Or maybe we're not doing the right thing. Maybe we could try this. You just don't get that in any way, shape, or form. I don't think there's a proper representation in that perspective, right?
Well,
So
they did have somebody, but she was made to resign.
so the former CMO, Peak Ball, Dr. Peak Ball.
Wonderful. Amazing woman. She's not there anymore.
And that was very interesting. We can talk offline about that and possibly come in on that angle also. And
she's a woman.
And she's a woman. She's a woman. Very interesting that coordination of occurrences and when they shifted, because it all went. I found it peculiar. I had come off of the following them daily around November, December. And then all of a sudden, I see this, Dr. Ayo appearing. I said, "This is not the CMO. What's going on?" And so I was alarmed by that myself and the storyline. And so there is something behind it, that she was questioning the main statement, and she wasn't maintaining it. I'm heard some say that she was out of her depth, but I'm heard her speak. She is a very competent woman. I would beg to say more competent than the others, because their ability to defend and answer questions from a scientific background is weak. It's poor. It's just they are not well established in science, just as a basic fact. Not to mention health, right? Which I find as a division. I put it as a division in science. You know what I mean? Understanding your body, you should apply that general idea of science, which comes from instinct. We understand how things work through testing it out, through trial, and that's how we get to know our bodies, how we get to know our environment, and that should maintain that confidence. We've become decadent. What's another word? Lazy, in a sense, that we just rely on the experts. Just let the expert figure it out for us. So I appreciate you coming forward. Yes, you got something else?
I just wanted to say, when I spoke to the Health Council, I asked, how can we, people who are speaking today and people who are commenting today, how can we, the people, get a seat at the table? And the answer was that it's assigned by qualifications. So we have unqualified people who are giving us information, but we have very qualified people like, we have Dr. Karen Smith, Karen Simons, and all sorts of people in our community who have all of these major qualifications. And they don't have a seat at the table. We need to enforce, if just not treat them as that's one kind of government. We need to start another government, obviously.
Oh boy. Well, you're going into
I'm going off topic, so.
No, that is the topic of the day here. Just as you heard Brother Morris say, nationality is everything. We have to rely on our sense of sovereignty, representing ourselves, representing our families, our culture, what we believe in, and stop referring to this authority, right? That you know what I mean. That just because they got on a uniform or whatnot, they got our best interests at heart.
And stop asking them for permission, because if it's, I always, and no offense to Kentucky Fried Chicken or sushi, but you cannot keep going to Kentucky Fried Chicken and asking for sushi. It's not going to happen. Don't go there. If you want Kentucky Fried Chicken, go there. If you want sushi, go there. Don't try and ask one to provide the other. It's like trying to ask, why can't we use homeopathy? We can't ask them. They have no idea what that is.
Exactly. Disregard it.
Yeah. And so don't keep asking why. Just show them.
This is it. Stand up and breathe. Yeah. Let's go to some comments again really quickly. We got some strong ones in there. Richard Augustus. Give thanks, Richard, for being in this space. bless up. Folks, folks, that word always gives me a little challenge. Folks suffer from cognitive dissonance, particularly this our elected leader, right? Seems to be suffering from this some, you know what I mean? It's not coordinating. Speaking out, that double speak going on, right? In other words, no matter what evidence presented, you cannot change the minds of the convinced people that the vision of truth is a lie. Yeah, we're really having this distinction created, this split being formed in society, where people are just not willing to have an open mind and consider that there are alternatives. It's either your strong-willed support of the whole vaccine agenda, and that this virus is going to wipe out humanity unless we get vaccinated, or you're open-minded and you see that, hey, we're faced these type of situations before, and we need to rely on our natural systems, right? He goes on to say, programmed population via tell a lie vision, I like to put it, right? TV programs. That's what this is about. We're trying to provide you with an opportunity so that you can get some other programming, and we're going to continue and provide you with those opportunities to contribute. If you're doing research and you're out there and you want to contribute, you can get on board, join the Telegram groups, right? Go to dCyfa.com, hit the link, get involved, because the brain don't stop, right? We're constantly thinking. We're going to take those opportunities to use our time and be proactive, right? Continue. It's a good bit of comments, so let's see if we can keep up and not get too Sasha shared a link there, but let's says, we aren't healthy promoters, or we aren't health promoters. Oh, why? Yeah, I should let you tell you guys. This is your show.
Yeah.
So why aren't health promoters featured in the press conference platform, right? It's just one side of the story, right? That we're being spoon-fed this one particular agenda. Jeanette Morrison, we need to be critical thinkers, open our minds, which helps to fire up more synapses in the brain. Yes, use it or you lose it. To be able to discern and question the narrative, we should be questioning everything, skeptical of everything, especially in this day and age of misinformation. It's not the age of information, it's the age of misinformation, because 90% of what you hear is got some bias or slant to it, used for some degree of propaganda or whatnot, you know what I mean? But with different, what do you call them? Stars, famous people, with their agenda, whatnot. You're seeing the musicians and whatnot coming out and putting pressure. And some of them are suffering from it. We'll go into that today. But some have succumbed, and in the other side, they're regretting the decision, I'm sure. Moore says, science literally means knowledge, right?
Knowledge.
Exactly.
Can I come in on that note, Iman?
You can definitely come in. Like I said, it's
Thank you.
What about you
I'm
guys?
excited listening to everything. So and a lot's on my head hearing everyone speak, and what I fail to do here is write notes, when somebody says something and I want to speak about it. So I'll do that next time. So, but what I wanted to speak to is the fact that people, like, when we're taught as children, we're taught to follow, like, to fit into a box per se. Just picture this drawing of a classroom, and the teacher's at the front of the classroom and children are sitting in the chairs, and outside of the door is a father standing there with his child getting ready to go into the classroom, and they're not people, they're trees. Okay, so outside of the classroom there's the father, the big tree, with his child, the little tree, standing next to them. And looking in the classroom, can you just guess what you saw sitting in the chairs?
Animals?
Pardon?
The animals?
No, tree stumps.
Oh.
Tree stumps without the branches, cut down, shaved up, looking the same, sitting there looking all neat. So basically that's what what I'm trying to say, this is what society does for us. It has an image of who we should be, and educates us to fit into that image. And as we grow, and after we leave our parents' protection and venture out on our own, we start really looking into ourselves and who we feel ourselves to be. And a lot of us realize that we don't know ourselves that way. And just looking at it from a medical standpoint, like, for example, when I had to go to a gynecologist when I was young, something I hate doing, very strong doctor here in Bermuda got mad at me because I couldn't answer questions about my own body. And let me tell you, it didn't happen again. But his getting mad at me showed me, that maybe I should know what he thinks I should know. He's a doctor and he started all of this, but maybe, this is my body and I should know. And, since then, I learned about my body and the specifics and what I'm feeling, and writing health logs, especially about, a woman's cycle, because it's all types of changes that it takes us through. So I'm saying that our society does not teach us to know ourselves straight down to the core, to know our bodies. Our bodies are treated as this scientific machine that's hard to understand, but we're actually living in it. We walk in it. We take every step that it makes. We breathe every breath that the body experiences. And going along with how Iyanla van Sant says, we must know ourselves and be true to ourselves. So what people are doing nowadays is, as someone spoke earlier, going for convenience and going to their doctors for the answers, going to other experts and professionals for the answers because it's convenient. We're so busy, caught up in the system, the rat race, and we're busy trying to make money to survive, to educate our children, put clothes on our back, have a house over our head, eat proper food. And this takes away so much time away from us, the time that we can utilize to peace out in nature, ground with nature, get to know what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we want to do with those thoughts, how we want to arrange our thoughts and whatnot. So it's really important. Especially now, it's really important that people understand that the doctors aren't there to tell you what to do with yourself and who you are. They are there to assist you with different conditions that you might come across. But prior to that, you have to learn, who you are in your own body, how it responds to the choices you make, and learn how to choose the things that make you feel better, that make you feel stronger. Learn how to choose the things that promote the longevity of the body and the healing of the body. We must stop relying on others for that. So I would encourage everybody now during this blessed time of rest. We're in the lockdown, but we have time now. We have time to sit and think and meditate and feel, and time to love, time to interact with our families, play games, do physical activities together. Utilize it as a positive thing. Don't be afraid of what you don't see. Don't be afraid of this mystery virus that has to be magnified thousands of times to be able to be found. That I'll just say it quick so someone else can speak, but we believe in things that we don't see. We believe in God. Our instinct and our connection with life lets us know that there's bigger things beyond what's right in front of our eyes, right? So, it's common to believe in things that we don't see, but we have evidence of these things, guys. A killer virus does not produce evidence of 2% mortality. It does not produce evidence of 98 to 99% survival, life, living. This is not a pandemic. It's a damn panic. Okay?
Yes, give thanks, give thanks. I know you're coming from your heart. Bless your heart, sister. Bless your
It
heart.
was
Yeah.
something else I wanted to say, but I'll say it after somebody else speaks.
It's all good. This is for you guys. This is your time. You know what I mean. This is an opportunity for you to speak, and we definitely have you guys back. This is a continual process. We're gonna, we got these 7 days, and they've already gave the declaration that there's going to be some sort of an extension of some sort of restrictions, right? So let's prepare ourselves to use this as an opportunity to prepare ourselves to study, like you said, connect to our families.
Yeah.
So let's go to the comments real quick because got some wonderful stuff coming in. Sasha says, this Dr. Charit Bhakti, that interview is so strong. They're on Vimeo. Just his calmness in dealing with the situation, how he deals with his family, right? It's just so confident to hear that from someone obviously as esteemed and qualified as himself to stand up and there's tons of them out there, but his presentation was excellent. Barmy Sparkle says, why aren't health promoters featured? We already ran over that one. Spoon fed. Critical thinkers. Let me see. I'm got. All right. Nubia says, I stopped listening to their press conferences since the second week in April 2020. Kim Wilson continuing saying she will get back to you, the reporters, when asked questions, right? Not prepared, just really not qualified for this. You know what I mean? We have to really reconsider this popularity contest for ministerial roles or however leadership roles. You know what I mean? Personally, just to go, I don't want to take too much of you guys' stage. Personally, the idea that you elect somebody some months down the road and then hope that they maintain that mandate that you voted them in on, right? Because you don't have any check or balance on them until the next election. So they can do whatever they like in between there, right? I mean, it has to be something dramatically ridiculous to provoke, protest to the level that we can, potentially remove them from office, which is rare. But generally, they get to say, do whatever they want as long as they stay aligned amongst themselves. And we need to question that system. As we said, we need to introduce possibly our own system of governance based on sovereignty, personal sovereignty, collective sovereignty.
Yes.
Give thanks. And give thanks for you sisters for being here. You don't know, it's warms the heart to have this going on. And to beat your shitters on this is what we created this for. Right, Tracy supports obviously supports, right? She finds it all distressing, this whole presentation of the same information over and over. Fear any channel you turn on mainstream media, and you may as well include Bermuda's stations because they don't give you anything otherwise.
I'd like to speak again if I can.
You can definitely speak again.
Thank you. So yes, it's distressing because we feel when we're violated, and one thing that Tracy brought up and a lot of people were bringing up is that as human beings, spiritual beings here living a human experience, we are subjected to traumatic experiences because we're learning as we go along how to be human and how to get along as humans. We experience trauma and abuse. There are a lot of things going on that shouldn't be going on, and we're finding that in this chaotic COVID situation, people that have been abused feel like the red flags go up. They may be going up faster than some other people because they have more established boundaries. They understand what their boundaries are according to what they've learned from going through abuse and healing from it. So like you can have different forms of abuse, but you can have, say, someone who's like a narcissist, a control person. They could be controlling you mentally, emotionally, and even physically. And you haven't been exposed to that. When you feel like, first of all, out of caution, we're giving rights, some of our rights away to government to say, yes, help guide us, help teach us what to do, what we should do to protect ourselves. But then as time goes on and the emergency processes don't seem proportionate to what we're actually experiencing, then we say, well, okay, government, well, you can ease up now, like, because I have my own ideas of what I should be doing for myself. And then you start to feel when they don't ease up and they push even harder, you feel government's control feeling like abuse to you, feeling like an abusive partner or friend or someone like that, taking away your rights, telling you have to do this, you can't do that. And that's a trigger for a lot of people. It creates a lot of stress and even more trauma. So I'm going to just say quickly, back on the human rights and sovereignty perspective. John Locke said, the end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. So let's say there are so many laws written, constitutions, declarations, and like Moorish Institute mentioned, even indigenous rights have come into that. There are so many that one of the regular parts of the opening, the introductions to these things is saying recalling this past law from 1700s or 1800s or 1900s, recalling this and recalling that, because as you would find in God's law, the law is not done away with. It's just, we've just advanced to a different understanding of it, but the ultimate, original intention hasn't changed. So looking at constitutional laws, natural law was the ultimate source of it. So I'll just read this here by William Blackstone. Man must necessarily be subject to the laws of his creator. The will of his maker is called the law of nature. This law of nature is, of course, superior to any other. No human laws are of any validity if contrary to this, and such of them as are valid derive all their force from this original natural law. The founders didn't establish the Constitution for the purpose of granting rights. Rather, they established the government of laws, not a government of man, a government of laws to help secure each person's creator endowed rights to life, liberty, and property.
Wow. We need to reflect on this. Could you go read that again, please? These are significant words. Would you mind?
Yes. From the last part of it?
Yeah, the whole thing, that whole section.
Okay, sure. Okay, man must necessarily be subject to the laws of his creator. This will of his maker is called the law of nature. This law of nature is, of course, superior to any other. No human laws are of any validity if contrary to this, and such of them as are valid derive all their force from this original. And that was said by Sir William Blackstone. And then the piece goes on to explain how the founders of the original Constitution of the United States of America, the founders didn't establish the Constitution for the purpose of granting rights. Okay, and I'm going to just say the rights were known to be a given. That was a given. They established the government of the laws in order to secure each person's creator endowed rights to life, liberty, and property. For as God, when he created matter and endued it with a principle of mobility, established certain rules for the direction of that motion. So when he created man and endued him with free will to conduct himself in all parts of life, he laid down certain immutable laws of human nature, whereby free will is in some degree regulated and restrained, and gave him also the faculty of reason to discover the purpose of these laws.
Yeah, wise words. That is definitely. Uh, we need to reflect on this. We need to be discussing these type of concepts around our dinner tables, at our, when we're having lunch and visiting friends and family, because we need to have these study groups and circles and reinforcing these types of messages, right?
Yeah.
Bring young adults along that type of training. Let's get to some comments really quickly, because it's definitely a lot going on here. Yes, wow, that was really powerful. This book, I think that was a few minutes ago, but trying to keep up. Richard comes back again and says, yes, the invisible enemy, an easy scapegoat to create, use as a means to an end. Note that at the end is about control of the people, right? So how do we push back against this control? By organizing ourselves, by having these types of forums and acting on it and resisting. And in that note, I'm gonna shift to a message here really quickly and see how you guys feel about this. Let me take that down. It's blocking it. Let me get some feedback from this panel, right? One has this is obviously Martin Luther King, the great orator and defender of liberties, right? One has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws and acts, and right.
Yes.
Can we?
Yes.
We spoke about that, right? I don't know if any of you want to voice anything in particular.
I'll just say. Go ahead, sir.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I'll just say it quickly. If you're not standing up, if you're not saying anything, then you're complicit. If you find that something feels unjust and you don't say anything, you are actually supporting it. You're helping it to grow.
Significant. One quick real thing. We're already at 11. I just want you guys to be aware. If we still got 30 plus people in this space, if give us a thumbs up if you want to continue. And you guys, how much more time do you have? You're good for time. Mary, you're good for time. Jan, you're good for time.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Iman, can we add Tracy? Because she wanted to say a little something. Is she in your waiting room?
No, she's not in the waiting room right now. Let me see. No, I don't see her right there. Let's go back.
Did you send her the link, Mary? Well, the link was in the chat, Tracy.
I sent it to her just now. Tracy, come back in, and then we'll go from there. And I totally agree with this, and I believe that we're in a place right now where it's time for civil disobedience. We cannot let this continue, and we need people to understand. I believe that we have to be positive about everything. We've had negative, so we can turn the positive into good, and also go out and get what we need to get so that we can be okay. It's not just about us. We have to take us out and think about who's behind us. And the plan is to stop population anyway. So my children are like 30 something and they don't have any babies, but maybe once I would like to have a little grandbaby that I can send back to them. So I just think we need to start really being forceful on what we're doing here.
Yes, I definitely agree. Sophie, you want to continue on that?
When are we marching? What's the plan? Let's go.
Well, that we can. You guys continue in your groups. We'll continue in our groups, and have that conversation. So that was strategic, right? You know what I mean. So Tracy's in the building. Let's bring her up. But Nubia, a staunch supporter of what we're doing here in dCyfa. She says, I agree with we are in place of civil disobedience. It's necessary some degree of representation for rights, dignity,
Mhm.
up. You know what I mean? Let's go to Tracy. Let's bring Tracy in and let her. Let's see if I can shift her, bring the comment down.
Hi, Trace.
Hi guys. This has been so amazing. Yeah, morning everybody, Grand Rising. For me, I've always felt like I've been on my own, I'm like the black sheep in my family. And just to backtrack, my awakening started about 10 years ago when I went to Peru and went to Machu Picchu, and I started to wonder, like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to leave to humanity? And it wasn't until that gosh, 5 years ago I started to find my voice and started to become a teacher of yoga. But it wasn't until last year, and I guess a year before, that I started to understand what my gift was and why I'm really here, what I'm supposed to do. And um the pandemic brought about me to study Ayurveda, which is a 500-year-old Indian way of healing the body. And all of this happened during the scamdemic. And I'm like, this is why I'm supposed to be here, because yoga and Ayurveda goes together. It's their teacher, it's their sister science. And all of this that we've been talking about and learning and talking about helping each other and healing the body on our own. We don't need a vaccine. We don't need that. We just need to get back to our old ways, what our great grandmas used to do. Go outside and pick an herb and boil it in a pot and drink tea and, eat with the seasons and go outside and just not live for a rat race, but live to enjoy life to the fullest and just be who we're supposed to be. And I'm really grateful to have met all you guys. The women have been like my saving grace. You have no idea. Iman, meeting you and getting involved in all of this, it's just been, my heart's been so full. And I'm really grateful for all of that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy.
Well, thank you definitely for the support. Stay on board. We're early in the movement as we're growing. All I ask is bring two back with you as we come back, right? Two strong soldiers with you, and that we're gonna build these little pyramids and air triangles, right? And watch that bottom up growth, right? We're gonna build from a strong foundation and build, but not, we don't have to, explode. We don't need 1 million people right now on board. Well, that's beyond our numbers, but you know what I mean? We don't need all 65,000 like they suggest we need for this herd immunity. We just need some strong soldiers ready to make sacrifices, and as you sisters are demonstrating right here, and I'm definitely proud to be a part of this and to keep the conversation going. So let's go really quickly to some more comments, because there's a flooding in. There's so much support here for you ladies and what you're doing. Specifically, let's go to Mal's comment. Because she's unable to participate directly because due to some technical difficulties. But she says, I would like to reinforce people who have tested positive to come forward, right? The recoverance.
Mhm.
This is where valuable information lies. And you guys have some sort of an organization, right, that we can speak on in a second. Any information gathered will be done so is in confidence, and which meaning, you know what I mean, it's private, and will be used for understanding the experience of CV virus on an individual level, on a case level, because we need that case understanding. We don't need to know your name. We just need to know what you went through, right? How, what the experience, so that others can feel that confidence of moving forward, right? And from there, we will understand the collective experience. One quick piece of just touching on that before you guys can jump in and fill in that organization you guys have for gathering this information from the recovered. The only thing I'm seeing on any local media of anyone that's actually had COVID-19 or this year's flu season you know what I mean, low vitamin D level ailment, right? The only person that brought on was this guy that says he's experiencing long COVID. Where's the rest of where's the other 800, 900 people that recovered successfully, that managed this successfully? You bring the one guy that says, oh, you know, I'm experiencing this, you know, I'm tired all the time and I can't play golf like I used to play golf. I was just astounded. This is your main story. This is what, you know what I mean, our broadcast and media finds as important, relevant to the conversation. If one guy out of all of the rest of them that I think maybe it's a few others that it's experiencing some, and that's relevant. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, and you guys could jump in.
It's because people are afraid. This is why we're not hearing of people's experiences. You know, all of the division that's being created, dividing relationships, best friends and loved ones fighting because of a difference of opinion. You know, they don't know which side to believe, so they're choosing one that's different from the other. People are calling you names and labeling you. I mean, even on our government news, or I don't know if it was government news, it was on Bermuda news, the people not choosing to take the vaccine were called the great unwashed. But actually we're people that don't choose to take the vaccine are the great pre-washed, because they're already boosting their immune system, their natural immunity. So I'll just say that. But you hear what I'm saying is that people are feeling a lot of things and are unsure if they can air their laundry, you know?
Yep.
There's dirty or clean laundry. People don't know what type of feedback they're getting back. And this is what we're trying to change. And as well, look at it as though, you know, you had a cold or a flu. Like, you're not afraid to tell someone, oh, I'm sick because my head hurts or I have a fever. I mean, with this experience, some people have symptoms that are much less than what you're feeling with the normal flu. And to say this quickly, that word mutation, it is not uncommon in the world of sickness, in the world of viruses. It's a common thing for a virus to change, to evolve per person and through time. So for them to say, oh, we have a scary mutating virus, most viruses do mutate. So try to understand, you don't need to hang on to these words that sound confusing or fearful. You know, we need to try to let go of the fear and speak our truths and share with one another. The more that we realize we have all of these likenesses, then we can just get along with normal life.
Yeah, that's another strong point. I would just add that all viruses change, mutate. That's what they do. That is the norm, not the. They put this variant concept out there like it's an exception. Oh, we have this new variant. That's what viruses do. Even if, first off, even if they are truly a thing, because the original, we still, and we'll get into that in further episodes, whether this thing even exists in the first place. There's a lot of doubt there in that whole space of what is a virus, and when was this thing that we're running from? When was it isolated? Has anybody taken a proper picture of it? Can they demonstrate
exactly all of that?
Is it? What does it weigh? There's some interesting thing. The only thing that's been released. Oh, let me not give out. Let's tune into further shares as we'll get into depth into that. But I want you guys to talk about the group that you have. I think it's a Facebook page where you're trying to gather the information.
Yes, I can speak to that. I think Mel will come in, hopefully, if she's available. It's called Naturally COVID Immunized Bermuda, NCIB. It's a Facebook page. We are there gathering anonymous information. If you'd like to share your name, that's fine. We're just there to also release the stigma, to learn from each other, share the experiences, and support each other. So this is people who have had, who have tested positive for, whether they have had symptoms of the virus, whether they have been asymptomatic but just tested positive, anyone who's had any sort of brush with COVID naturally and recovered from it. Obviously, we can't talk to the people who are not recovered. And then the people who are post experimental gene therapy shot. You know, you can still reach out to this group because you're having symptoms, and we can document those as well and learn from each other there. We've even asked anybody, like, everybody's welcome to come in.
Excellent. I think that is that's not just commendable, coming forward and organizing yourselves like that and putting your time. You know, you have family, children, businesses to maintain. Yet you're taking your time out to dedicate yourself to the public.
We're all in this together.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We are. We're all in it together.
This is
and even if I just wanted to say that the gentleman that so bravely came and courageously came onto the BBC last week and told a portion of his story, I think, he did reach out to us, to the group, and he did have some discussion, and there were things offered to, you know, like some suggestions. You know, he would ask a question. So therefore, we could give what we knew, answers, and perhaps he could reach out again and maybe learn a little bit more, because when you come on the television and just say you can't do this anymore and you can't do that anymore, then there's something going on with that person emotionally that they feel that they cannot do that anymore. You can do it. You have to find out how. You have to dig deeper. You don't want to go back to the way you used to do it. You want to move forward into a better light of how you can do it even better than you were doing it before. You don't want to go back.
Right.
So when I listened to him, I felt like we could still help. Like, we as a community could still help this gentleman. That he's missing something emotionally, and so homeopathy can help that, or, you know, breathing, or alternative complementary therapies can help this. And if someone's resistant to that and they only just want to go back to the way they used to do things and not move forward to a greater understanding, then it's on them.
Big point. Because you guys are providing these resources. It's
yes.
Make their choices.
Yes.
And
yes.
as with anything, any of these issues, it's all about choice and observing that choice. Let's go to some comments again real quickly, because I want to fall behind. Sasha's been really putting in some, as she stated here. It is not just about being open-minded. That's one piece you're saying, but most of us here have actually spent much more time researching all sides than those who are working in the industry, right? Demonstrating more. Yes, right. Who are worked off their feet and are just reading the bare minimum from a specific source. Most of us here are reading many doctor's reports who are concerned, and when see that data, we are convinced of another way, right? So that's why we're here. We're giving you a voice. We're giving you an opportunity to share and exchange. It's through this collective intelligence that we're gonna be able to get across these type of stumbling blocks or challenges. It's just a challenge. Life brings us these challenges. We've got to rise above it.
Can I say something else?
You definitely can. Let me bring
Is it okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other piece that I was going to bring to the table is that people aren't aware that your body holds emotions. So if you continue to be fearful, it's going to stay in your kidneys. If you're going to be, if you're dealing with grief or heartache, it's going to be in your lungs. If you're going to be anger, your liver, for example. So we have to find a way to heal those parts of us, and that's through food, but also through doing yoga and breath work. We just can't say, oh well, I'm angry, and no, you have to feel those emotions and find a way to heal your body. The body, the mind, the spirit's all connected, and we've forgotten that.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. And along with that is accepting those emotions. You can't reject them because they're there. It's like having someone close to you that like you live with and you love them, but they're irritating you. You have to accept the presence of the negative emotions that come up to be able to start to release them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's key. It's key, that emotional piece. So do you guys want to go in a bit on the psychological effects can have on younger generation that experiencing this new reality? They're exposed. They're just coming into the world. They're experiencing it in this way. As mothers, how does that feel to see that on a daily basis, right?
It's hurtful. It's hurtful seeing children suffering, being confused and being fearful because they feel what the parents and adults are going through. They know that COVID exists, and they have their feelings too. They're picking up on the energy. So we know that they're going through a combination of fear and bewilderment, uncertainty, and we just have to hold them closer and love them through this. I mean, because children, the collateral damage, we've heard that there's a rise in suicide amongst young people, which is extremely sad. It's extremely sad. So it has to be addressed. And this is one of the main reasons why doctors and scientists and experts around the world got together to say the remedies for the mystery virus are worse. The causing results worse than the virus itself. The collateral damage. So, we have to look at it differently. We have to do something differently than we're doing because people are suffering. Adults can sort through their emotions and their thoughts better than a child is equipped to do that. A child's not fully developed. So, I'm sure everyone understands and sees that the children are suffering along with everyone else. There are studies out about it now,
But may I also add to that we as
Sure.
as mothers, we are also their first teachers, and we have a brilliant opportunity right now where they can not have to be in those institutions that teach them that. They are now at home, and we can influence them more. We can make sure that we send them appropriate things to watch, and we owe them. We are obliged to teach them the right way, and we have now been given an opportunity to help them learn the truth.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
We cannot keep there. And I teach lots of children, and I treat them all like my own children. And I have to be wary because they all go home to their own environments. But while they're with me, I will be there to love them and to understand, help them understand truth. If they ask me a question, I will tell them not my opinion. I will tell them the truth. So we have to do this for our children, and we can't keep asking someone else to do the right thing. They're our children.
We have to stand up. We have to stand up and be our best selves for our children. And if it's hard, just continue to push through it.
Absolutely.
Just as much as you give to your job or to a friendship. Our children deserve that from us. And someone said earlier when I was reading about the human rights that we need to teach our children just this. Yes, teach your child that they are sovereign divine being, that they have every right to be here, and that God, that life is offering them the very best. They have the right to free thought and free choice in everything.
A
And
lot, yeah,
and
a lot of
at the same time, every day when you look upon your child or the person that you love, the people in your space that you love, choose to see goodness in them, even when you don't feel good, even when they don't look good, or when they might look ugly, when they're doing something that you don't like. Choose, when you're sorting through your emotions and how you need to deal with what you're dealing with, choose to see the good in them, choose to see the beauty, practice it, do it over and over and over, and this is what you're going to get coming back towards you. When you show them that that's what you see in them, then they're going to show you that that's who they are. That's who we all are. We all are beauty, we all are love. We need to pull it out of ourselves and stop focusing on the imbalance, the imperfections.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are pulling their children or taking their children out of the system well, we unschooled. We didn't homeschool. We unschooled, and we had to unschool ourselves first. That's a whole nother conversation. But we have, like I said, we have this opportunity now to open more for them.
So you're saying you were unschooling. That's undoing the imbalance conditioning, right?
Yes.
Undoing, yes. So I've never looked at it that way, as the unschooling.
Unschooling is not not educating. Like,
right.
don't let schooling get in the way of your education. You need to find out who these children are, and by putting them in a box and telling them that they have to learn all the same way and at the same time, and not speak at a certain time, and not, everybody learns differently. That's industrialization of children. So we just decided not to do that. And they're thriving.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So but we can help each other. So it's a choice. We have an opportunity right now where everybody's out of school or they're learning at home, so we can learn from our parents. And the parents, if they're working on themselves, they can help their children.
Let's go to some more comments. So the participation has been extraordinary, and it's really difficult keeping up. But the engagement's going on. Sophie's just got definitely got 6, 7, 8 arms over there. Typing, and I don't know how you're doing that.
I'm also packing.
You never cease to amaze. Let's get some more comments. So we got Horsh comes back and says, as long as there is breath, there is healing. It is hardwired into our wonderful bodies. Give confidence to our bodies. Have confidence in your bodies' ability to reestablish balance. Give it the we discussed yesterday. He went into depth, and you guys were all party to that, discussing the terrain versus germ theory, right?
Yes.
The environment to succeed. Give the body the environment to succeed, and it will thrive, right? Let's see some more. We got Richard says, the invisible enemy, an easy scapegoat to create as a means to an end. Right, we already went over that one. It's difficult keeping up. As Sasha says, Bermuda is not a member of the WHO. We are in perfect position to do something completely different, as we are not legally bound to follow the rules. See, this is what got researchers here putting in heavy work, establishing. Hey, that's a serious and important fact there, that we are not bound to WHO mandates. I know we we're attached to the we're a colony, we're overseas territory, and we're associated with the Imperial College of London's information that's being flooded here, and directed, I'm sure. And the premier at the beginning used to speak of how he has this WhatsApp group with the rest of the leaders in the Caribbean, and you see they're all together on pushing that same message. Let's see. Okay, Mal comes back and says, yes, it is like being in an abusive relationship. The new trauma being created will be immense if people ever get a chance to reflect on that, right? This is a bigger situation than the virus, right? The virus has provoked something that these governments are taking advantage of, and it's going to cause far more harm than this virus or any virus could ever cause, right?
Yeah.
It's remarkable that such a microscopic entity has created such a gigantic ripple in humanity. Or they have allowed it, promoted it, if they've, using propaganda and all of these techniques they use, right? We need to focus on peace.
When are we marching?
How? Love back to that central theme, right? When are we going to? Okay, well, it's a comment on that. Morris says, well, look, maybe no march. Money talks. And this is something we talked about yesterday along those lines of sovereignty. We fund this government. Government is funded by the people, by paying taxes, by, you know what I mean, or the fees you pay. We opt in on a daily basis by the contributing to the.
Vote them in.
Say it again.
And we vote them in.
We definitely vote them in, and there for the time being, unplacing them, displacing them. Unplacing is not a word. Displacing them is a challenge. But we should look at that in the long term. But something we can do today is stop contributing to the funding, right? What we got else in here? So Bailey says, is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded. This is going to be on. This is on YouTube until they decide it's not going to be on YouTube. It's on Facebook. The other shows where we've gone right in depth and made some very somewhat direct remarks, and those are still up. So shouldn't be an issue there. You should be able to tune in there. And then I'm going to reestablish it, but you can go to dCyfa.com to watch past shows, and it should be back up there where you can watch it live on there also.
Greetings, Sir Bailey.
Yes.
I want to say that too. Greetings to Bailey. Hi, Uncle Albie.
Yes, they link up. That's important, right? Morris says, right, your rights and freedoms exist wherever you are breathing. That is, these are your rights. You got to claim them, though. You got to claim. You got to be forthright and stand up. Otherwise, they take advantage of you, right? What else we got here? There's so much coming in as we speak. Yes, children deserve all that and more. Exactly what Janine and Sophie is saying, reinforced by Mal, who unfortunately to technology can't get her voice in, but we're carrying her voice. I should let you guys read out her statements, really. Okay, so Bailey says, choice, IEA, I'm not sure what the IEA, maybe it comes, needs your supporting unschooling, non-schooling, community schooling, yet mainly home-based education business, and interdependent education alliance.
Nice.
We can look this up. I'm figuring he's giving us a link to how to address that education issue. Richard Augustus says the education system and the healthcare system was hijacked by the money controllers. We spoke of this yesterday, and it's come up again, right? Rockefeller and his bringing in Carnegie also, right? This billionaire that got involved in this process and funding that whole process, right? A partner of Rockefeller's in 1910, just about, around this early 1900s. The fresh Rockefeller, because it's still, you know what I mean? They got the descendants here. Mal's still kicking in. You guys want to read Mal's statements?
Mal says, we would love to hear your story and help you where we can. That's from Sir Bailey. She's addressing Sir Bailey.
Okay. Morris comes back and says, study on the no confidence vote when we are ready for real change on a governmental level. Okay, so that needs to be approached. The no confidence vote is something we'd experiment with and see if we can gather some steam. I like just ignoring them. You know what I mean? If
No,
we
So
go
the
today,
no confidence vote, that's in the actual vote, I guess? Or is he just calling it that? The no confidence vote.
or a vote of no confidence. You want to come in, Mary? I think you're still on mute. Looks like you're trying to talk.
I'm sorry. I think that's today. Like, not. I'm saying today. Today, no confidence. That's one of. We have to study that so we can. They're not competent to be in position. Let's do what we gotta do.
Oh, I'm sorry to bring that up. No confidence. Let's get on board. You're saying let's turn this into action. I feel you, Mary. I feel you. I feel you. I know where you're coming from. So, it says Richard comes back and says, the more you look into the past, you can see the future. See, these cycles will repeat in cycles. This has been done before. They just get better at it and get better at it as technology catches up. This agenda's been coming down the pipe for a while. It's just that technology is now enabling them to move to that next phase, and they know that humanity is waking up. So they know they have a short amount of.
Ah.
That's why they're rushing some of these programs, because they know that time is almost up, right? Because we are realizing the chains are no longer in our hands; the chains are in our minds. We strip those chains and connect ourselves and form a human chain. You know what I mean? That psychological chain. It's nothing that can stop us, right? Morris says national level change will not happen without mothers backing it. Mother, this is what this is about today. Bringing the mothers to the table. Bringing mothers to the table. Hearing from the mothers. Hearing from the women. Hearing that perspective of the voice that is seldom given the adequate opportunity in media, right? It's always underplayed or whatnot, but it is the underpinning of the culture that we are extensions of. We come from Bermuda was a very matriarchal society. My grandmother, right? But I grew. My grandfather had passed before, well before both of my grandfathers had passed. So I had very strong grandmothers that their presence was felt all around. But you always hear that, right? Go see Nana, go see Granny. Oh, I grew up with Granny and Nana. When the parent can't make it, they send you up to, you better go spend a couple months with Nana. That matriarchal sense has always been there. We got to return to it and give it its strength and give it its due. And that's what this is about. I'm so wonderful to participate in this. Look, it's 11:40, and we're going strong. We still got 38, 39 odd viewers. Let's see. We're a bit caught up with the comments. Let me see. There's a few more things. If there's any, there was the. I have some more images I can share, and we had some Melanie's images we can bring up also. Let's go to. Got some provocative ones here. Let's do this one, and then we'll go to Mel. No, I'll close with those ones. Let's go to Melanie's. Let's see if I can make that bigger and have her possibly comment via.
I sent a couple to Mal.
You sent a copy to the Telegram. This is what I'm got now.
Yeah.
This is one of them, right?
Yes.
You want to read
Yes.
that and then you want
Sure.
to go, Jan, or
Sure.
whoever?
Okay. It's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. We have lost it, or we have never had it. And because we do not know how to judge anything, we have been led here and pushed there, beaten up, driven politically, religiously, and socially. We don't know, but it's difficult to say we don't know. It's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. It's basically saying it's easy to be conditioned and to fall in line with what you're taught. So you can do the unschooling and teach yourself something different. Teach yourself something more balanced, more in harmony with who you are.
Wow. Where did this all
Can I interject here,
Please
Iman?
do.
Yes, yes. You're part of the
Thank
circle.
you for letting me. Thank you. I found my way back in. I just want to add that I took my children out of the public school system last summer, so they haven't been in school. I've been able to do exercise and yoga, teaching my children about their natural defenses, their chakras. We still go along with learning timetables and spelling, and of course in school we get so much information that's a part of the brainwashing. So back to basics. That's what I'm encouraging here. Back to basics. My children are home with their family. They're happy. We have a happy environment here. We're just loving on each other and enjoying life.
Beautiful.
I encourage us all to take on a whole new mindset.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Sorry, I had to slip away a second. Anybody else on this this statement here that being well adjusted to a profoundly sick society? Or shall I move to the next one?
Well, I have one thing to say about that. The women of Bermuda have not been able to give birth naturally and in their own power for a very long time, and there are laws in place in this country that women are being prevented from doing that, and that goes against your right, your human right. So yeah. I think it needs to start. Women need to rise up and understand that this is being done at the very beginning. So specifically look into the Midwifery Act in Bermuda and see that unless you are a midwife, or a physician, a woman, you cannot attend a birth in Bermuda outside of the hospital. They've written that into law, but it's a woman's right to have a child, to have her baby wherever she wishes, and with whomever she wishes to have that baby with. Where and with whom.
May I ask a question, Sophie?
Sure.
So you're saying you don't have the right, a person doesn't have the right to attend the actual birth inside of the hospital, you mean?
No, we've been conditioned to be treated as ill when we are pregnant, so that we all the generations now are birthing in a hospital.
In the hospital. Mm-hmm.
And it's going terribly wrong. People are not dying. I mean, babies do die, women do die, but we don't hear of it. But it's just not the way it should be. Women should have a right to have their children and to give birth wherever and with whomever they want.
Mm-hmm. And
this community, this government has made it against the law to do that. To the point where if you're not a midwife, you can't attend. And actually the midwives cannot attend home births because they do need to have a physician to back them up, and the physicians won't back them up. The midwives, there's a pharmacology law now that backs into the midwifery law that says that the only person that can draw up medications like antibiotics and some other life-saving drugs that they use in the hospital. Only physicians can do that. So a midwife needs to have those if she's going to attend a woman at home, but she's not allowed to have those drugs. So it's conflict. So, and then they've written it so that if you do it, you're going to get fined. So women just continually give up their power because it's written into law here, and it's unlawful to have that. It's not right to not have the right to birth where you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that when we think about a sick society, we're being conditioned very early on to know that we're not well enough, that our bodies are not good enough. Our bodies are not, we surrender our power, our knowledge, our instinct goes because we ask someone else. And those people that we ask, like the obstetricians, it's just like we're talking about the whole coronavirus here. The people who are in power have no idea how a woman feels and what she's going through. They don't study those therapies.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to look deeper that and start earlier.
Yes.
I'm trying not to bring this group into that conflict, but maybe another day we can start to talk about that and undoing that issue again.
But that it is vitally important, and you are all welcome again, definitely, to continue these conversations on all of these issues that affect our youth, affect our society, our community. Now, immediately, because we've got young people here, but in the future, right? That's about bringing our future into the world, and you should have something over that. Now, I did notice. I'm not sure what happened, but a lot of comments came in all of a sudden. I'm just gonna start putting them up on the screen. You guys can address them where you want to, and give any, because we're going on to 12 o'clock. Give any kind of closing statements or whatnot. I'm getting a little hungry and whatnot. I'm sure you guys will get some other things.
We'll be here tomorrow.
And we'll be here tomorrow. We can go in again. Tomorrow we're gonna go in on some heavy science. I'm hopeful Moorish Institute brother Bay will join us. And we'll dig in deep onto some very intense. You need to bring your notebook and take some notes and get in so that you can. We want to bring everybody along so that we're well equipped to stand our own ground. Right? That's what it's about. Each of us being in a position of strength. So I'm gonna start spreading these the comments in, but you guys can give your kind of your closing remarks and whatnot, and then we'll be back here again tomorrow 9 a.m.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Who wants to start?
I was just thinking as Sophie was speaking about how the midwifery is hindered, that man's medical system evolved from natural healing. The healing properties of herbs and other natural remedies, including food, hydrotherapy, they were recognized a long time ago for what they do. And then because man couldn't patent them, they produced synthetic copies, and then demonized the natural healing remedies. And as well, techniques like birthing, these were done naturally before we had modern hospitals, and the skills were modeled from what you would see medicine women, or just natural healers, but just a strong woman understanding another woman and how to help her bring a child forth. these things were done before official doctors and hospitals were what they are today. I'm saying that modern medicine has borrowed a lot from natural healing, and this needs to be recognized and respected. There are other places around the world that support midwifery and alternative therapies right in the midst of the hospital. End of statement.
Okay. Anybody else? Let me know. I'll pull you to the center and you know, give you a, or if you see any comment that you want to jump in on, or just give your closing statements or whatnot as we start to clear out.
I just think that now's the time. I think that there are pockets of people who think like us, but they don't know that each other exists. So the more people, like you said, each one bring one, we'll be able to get our strength up in numbers, and they gotta go. They gotta fall, because this is not living. This is not living. We can't continue to let them do this to us.
Yes, yes. Anybody picking back off of that? There was another. You know what? Before we go there, let's pull up this other comment. Let me pull this message down. Let's see if we got. We can go a few minutes over. Not that hungry. Let's see. This is another one of Mao's statements. Strong statement. You somebody want to read it and into it?
It's actually the first sentence of the previous one.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Emphasize. Oh, got you. I got you.
Yes, emphasizing it. I just want to say while you're looking for our next post or a comment, I just want to say, according to what Moorish Institute said, I looked up what a vote of no confidence is, and I don't know if it has any relevance with what we're trying. I mean, it does have relevance. I don't know. Okay, let me just say this. It says it's a formal vote by which the members of a legislature or similar deliberative body indicate that they no longer support a leader or government, and they become forced to resign after a vote of no confidence is made by the board. So I don't know if that's just within the parliament that the votes happen, or if that's extended to the citizens of the state, of the nation. But this is, I'm just saying, drawing attention to it, because this is how people are feeling. Like we want leaders that support us. We want leaders that show that they care about us and not seeming to be lying or not seeming to be transparent, because like acknowledge that there are two sides of the coin. Acknowledge that, yes, you're saying this, but acknowledge that there are other seasoned professionals out there saying that, you know, pretty much things opposite to what you're saying. You know, that we need to trust our natural herd immunity, individual immunity. There's not a pandemic going on. You don't need to be afraid of a virus. You shouldn't be wearing masks and inhaling all of your CO2. And the vaccine, we're not going to force you to take it, because we understand that you do have a choice and we're not allowed to coerce you. Like, say everything. Don't just stick to this one dry narrative. I mean, we expect more of our intelligent leaders. We know these people are intelligent. They're our family and our friends. You know, we've had conversations with them before they were even leaders. And what I'm saying is we have had respect for your intelligence, for your ability to reason and understand and even be compassionate to your fellow loved ones and citizens. So where is that now? Where are our intelligent leaders now? Are you just one track mind now? Like, how long are you going to stick to this narrative that is not supported by truth, by ultimate truth from around the world? Okay, I'm gonna sign. Are we signing out shortly, Iman?
Well, it kind of depends on you guys. I just wanted to make note really quickly how you change gears. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. Janice has got this light little voice, and she's a nice little, and then the
Well,
spirit comes up in you, and you did the octave changes.
We're women.
Yeah,
We're women.
hello.
The mother bear comes out.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
but
You
it's
know,
strong.
we're the nurturers and the protectors at the same time, you know.
Yes, yes. Well, it's noted. It's noted. I've got
So
another.
I just
Continue. Sorry, continue.
want to say, and I like what you got there too. We are unorganized. The world is organized, and there are groups around the world of citizens, passionate people, like-minded and not even like-minded people that are looking for a different type of support than we're receiving from the mainstream media and the leaders. People are merging and sharing the truth. Professionals are sharing their studies and the truth. They are actually doing their own research. We have doctors, lawyers, scientists, all types of professionals and non-professionals, lay people that are merging together, coming together, uniting, appreciating, respecting, and loving one another because we are promoting truth and love to get togetherness and showing one another that we're going to support one another in protecting humanity and our environment instead of supporting anything that's going to break us down. And they have formed many organizations. One is called the World Freedom Alliance, with members from UK, America, Canada, and around the world, including us here in Bermuda. And they're offering support, legal support. They are offering knowledge support for us to gain momentum in our communities, to have our rights acknowledged. They are offering scientific debates and whatnot. And I encourage you to go on Facebook, look up Bermuda Freedom Alliance and like the page, and further information will be fed to that page as we evolve in our collaboration with World Freedom Alliance. There are other groups as well, and if you reach out to any one of us, we will gladly share more with you so that we all can support one another.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Yeah, people are joining the Telegram as we speak. Let me pull down the state. Do you guys want to? Let's see how I can get that so that we're.
I'm gonna need to go in a few.
Right. So any as I pull up that comment, I mean that image there. But any other closing statements? I'm just gonna keep scrolling through our messages here. Anyone?
Ladies, feel free to speak, please. Share your beautiful voices.
I think it was a very good meeting. A lot of good information was shared. I encourage you, like Iman said, let's encourage the people, and let's try to build our numbers so that we can do what we need to do and like get our freedom back, get our rights back I love that one, before we're just not able to do anything else. It could easily turn into something worse than what's gonna happen if our young people and people just get really frustrated and start to retaliate. So if we can all just do what we gotta do and let's try to push for what Morris said, what was his name? No confidence vote. I'm not trying to play that, but I just think that if you don't have our best interests, it don't mean that we should allow you to do what you're doing. So we have a right to protect ourselves. They didn't put us here and they don't have the right to take us out. So bless everyone. I enjoyed it. I didn't want to come initially, but I did enjoy it. And I think we had a very good time here to help share with people. Encourage your friends to come on to Fresh TV, onto this platform as Iman continues to spread wealth and knowledge. This is the only way we're gonna know. And yes, Cami, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. You're all valuable, and we look forward to collaborating with you all. See about joining our groups, please.
Okay. Tracy, any?
Yeah, just really grateful for everybody getting together. And yes, please, everybody join. Obviously, you're here because you agree with what we're saying and we have the same stance. So we need your bodies, we need your voices. So please just reach out to any one of us and join the fight.
Yes, and thank you, Tracy. So good to see you. Mel says, this is a time of revolution, evolution, personally and collectively. It's time to take ownership of ourselves. This is time to love self and heal. We do this one step at a time. Yes, thank you, Mel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on that, I definitely I'm wonderfully grateful that you guys have, participated with us and bringing this to those that are locked locked in at home under this duress that has been inflicted on us. Someone has chosen to put us under the circumstances when it's really not warranted. The threat doesn't warrant the remedy that they're proposing. So I give thanks for having this. You got let me know. We'll talk in Telegram in the background. Everybody that's out there, get involved in the Telegram. Send me a message, an email if you're not on those social media types. You can email me at Iman at dCyfa.com, dCyfa.com. Send me an email. Get in touch that way, and we could continue the conversation. Give thanks, you
And
guys.
one more thing before we go.
Yes.
So Sophie's group, so our group with Sophie and Mel is Bermuda COVID immunized. Sophie, did I say it right?
Naturally immunized COVID Bermuda.
Okay, and then we have Bermuda Freedom Alliance on Facebook, and there's a private group on Facebook as well. You have to answer some questions to get in. BDA Freedom Alliance, and there is also World Freedom Alliance site that you can go and check out. And if we could all just chime in together and say just remedies and things that people should do now to keep themselves healthy, and especially while we're isolated. I'll just say quickly, there's vitamin D sunshine. We're blessed with that here in Bermuda. And you need half an hour to an hour of straight exposure to get an adequate day supply. Vitamin C, zinc, selenium, echinacea, bilberry, lemons, fresh fruit
Turmeric,
and vegetables.
Oregano
Yes.
oil.
turmeric, mullein.
Rest,
Yes.
exercise, lying on
Yes.
your back with your feet up the wall, legs up the wall pose.
Yep.
Yes. So
Just-
look into joining us for some exercise and yoga classes as well. We're going to need that movement because we're allowed 1 mile away from our home, 1 mile, and we can't ride a pedal bike.
Or go to the beach.
Can't go
Yes.
to the beach.
That's bullshit,
Wait,
right?
wait.
Easy,
Let me add
Tracy.
ginger,
Sorry, I just get real
Yes,
angry real fast.
ginger.
ginger and
Ginger.
charcoal.
Yes, charcoal.
Charcoal.
If you have an upset stomach from eating too much, or if your stomach's so queasy, take some charcoal. It will bind those toxins. Cayenne, if your throat is tickling and got that feeling like you're gonna catch a cold or whatever, gargle like a teaspoon of cayenne in a shot of water. Gargle it deep into your throat. You can spit it out or you can swallow it. Mal is saying here, fear, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Fear is an energy zapper and an immune depressant. Let's spend our time doing something that will boost the immune system and rejuvenate the energy. Take a walk, eat nutritious food, get some rest, give someone a hug, and soon the reality changes. A little bit of this daily changes the bigger picture in a long time. Yes, thank you, Mel. A little bit at a time, a step at a time. Just show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for your children, a step at a time, consistently. Don't stop. We're here to support you. We love you.
Yes.
Thank you, Enda,
Thank
Corin,
you.
Glad. Thank you, all our friends and loved ones.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Iman, for having us here today.
My
Yes, Iman.
my honor, my pleasure. Give thanks to you guys for being vocal, for standing up, for doing your walks, for structuring these other groups, and just commitment to the cause. It's so necessary, so vital. People are requesting if you could put the links right in the chats, the Facebook chats. Maybe someone can go over to the YouTube and also post there, you guys, links to the different groups that you got established. Because
Okay.
even if I post it on the screen here, they can't click on it. So there,
Okay.
they can click right in and go right into it. So on that note, give thanks, you guys. I'm gonna bring that music. Did you have something else, or you was waving?
No, I was just waving. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm going.
Safe trip, Sophie.
Oh.
Safe trip.
Oh, I'm bring it on.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
Sophie's ready for anything. So in that, I'm gonna bring that image back up and leave that on, and then play the one song. I had several songs to play, but with the audio issues, I didn't play it. So I'll bring you guys out because it may not come across well, and then I'll play that music, let it play out for you guys, and then let's meet back here tomorrow morning, and maybe we can let's talk about maybe you guys leading some leading the breath work. I can pull that video down and have you guys experts here. You know what I mean? This is what you guys do. Maybe even a little bit of movement.
Sure, we can.
You know what I mean? It's about
Yes.
solutions.
I mean, do you want to do something right now for a couple minutes?
I'm going to sign off. I need to pack.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Safe travel, Sev.
Thank you.
Java, give
Love
thanks.
you.
Give thanks.
So yeah, if you want to, do you want to lead us in a bit of breath work and a bit of give thanks, Mary? Or I mean, we can start that morning, or it's up to you. If you're ready.
I have it's a quick stretch actually. So, okay, can you all stretch your arms out to the sides or up to the ceiling? Are you able to do that right now, ladies?
Yep.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, so take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Okay. As you're inhaling through your nose, bring it in through your abdomen and bring it up to your chest and expand your chest. Expand your heart center. Okay. So, and as you're exhaling, allow your exhale to be at least twice as long as your inhale. So inhale through your nose. Exhale. Okay, so then simply what we're doing here is just a quick posture correction because we're all looking down at our devices, our phones, our computers. It's going to help you to prevent the forward head syndrome, which is like a turtleneck. So, okay, put your hands in front of you in prayer position, not against your chest, but in front of your body. Drop your arms down and swing them up to the sky. So inhale. So your arms are extended up, facing the ceiling, reaching up to the sky. Just stretch each arm. Point your fingers up. Feel the stretching in either arm. Feel the tight forearm stretching out. Wiggle, twist your wrist a little. Okay, now take those arms out toward your sides, but still facing up to the ceiling. So you're looking like a Y, like the letter Y. Just elongate everything so you feel tall, and remember to extend your heart center. Okay, now leave your arms outstretched, but simply bend your elbows down to shoulder height. Your elbows are coming down to shoulder height. Leave them there. Your hands are still above your elbows facing the ceiling, and now you look like you're making a large W. Pull your shoulders back. Drop your shoulders down and pull your shoulders back so that you're feeling your shoulder blades in the back coming towards one another, like you're pinching them. Okay, so this is like a W. Just rest in this position for a minute. Remember to breathe deeply. I want you to try to tuck your chin in. Tuck your chin in towards your neck and keep your gaze level with your own eyes. Like, don't have your head pointed up or down. Just level with the ground and your chin is tucked in. And then relax that tucked position, but keep your head there. So from the W, take your elbows down toward your side. Your fingers are still pointing to the ceiling. So now they're going to point out to the sides a little. It's still a W, and what you'll feel is your shoulder blades in the back pressed even more closer together, like they're pinching together. And you're going to pull your shoulders back and down. Okay, so it's feeling like you're sticking your chest up. So now you just drop your elbows to your sides. They're resting on your sides, and your hands are pointing out to your right and to your left like an L. If you look at your right hand, it looks like an L pointing to the right. If you look at your left hand, it looks like an L pointing to the left. And again, your shoulders are pulled back. Your chin is tucked in. Okay. From here, just pull your hands forward in front of you to prayer position and raise your arms up to shoulder length. So now both arms, wiggle them out, shake your wrist, wiggle your fingertips, and push your shoulder blades back. So it's a T. It's a T. It's looking like if you're standing up, your arms are outreach. You can look your gaze up to the sky, and it's looking like you're just praising God and grateful for everything that you see in front of you. And take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale long out of your mouth. Okay, relax your arms. Rotate your shoulders back. Small rotations, shoulders going backwards, small circles. And then rotate your shoulders forward, small circles. And then wiggle your arms out. Shake that out. You can wiggle your whole body out. Wiggle your neck. Shake it out now. Take a deep breath and relax. That is a quick correction for our posture, so that we're going to stand or sit more erect and not have our neck bent forward, stuck into that forward head position that most of us will get from looking down at our devices or even just working with something in your hands in front of you. Okay. Namaste, Selah.
Namaste. Give thanks. Give
Give
thanks, bless
thanks.
for that. Give thanks, bless for that exercise, and yeah, definitely wonderful to open up the sessions from tomorrow morning if you're in the space,
Great.
and guide us, and let's build this squad, let's build this crew, this collective crew, this conscious collective together, and move forward in strength. And in that,
Tracy, would you like to give us a quiet meditation before you go or anything? It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. How much
All
time do I
right.
it's
have?
you, it's up to you, up to those that
Okay,
in the space.
I'll do the quick white light meditation. So,
Great.
okay, usually takes 20 minutes, but it won't take that long, I promise. Okay, I want you to close your eyes. You can either, if you're lying down, that's great. If you're sitting up, sit up straight, open your heart space. Take a deep inhale, exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale, exhale through your mouth, letting all of that old energy go, and just sit in a relaxed position. And just start to listen to your breath. Deeply inhale and exhale. Do that in your own time. Inhale and exhale, and just listen to your body. Check in with your body. What area is speaking to you? What area is tense? Send it some love, send it some energy, and breathe into that area. Now, as you're lying or sitting comfortably, you are going to inhale white light. And with your eyes closed, you can actually see this white light entering your body. Inhaling white light, exhaling gray smoke. And keep on seeing this happening. The white light is protection. The white light is the prana that God has given you. Send the white light all through your body, your blood supply, your bones, right down to the very cell of who you are as a person, as a human. And as you exhale this gray smoke, it is going to symbolize everything that at this time is no longer serving you, whether it be fear or anger or grief. So continue to inhale white light and exhale gray smoke. And we'll just do this for a few more breaths and see the gray smoke exiting your body. Feel it. Inhale white light. Exhale gray smoke. Again, inhale white light. Exhale gray smoke. And at this time, you are going to inhale and exhale this great, beautiful, wonderful white light. The energy from the Most High, from Source. You are inviting that white light into your entire being. You are now protected. On your next exhale, take this white light and let it burst through your skin and create a sphere of protection around your body. And again, see this happening. You are going to breathe into this sphere. This is your energy. Your energy only is in this sphere. No one else can come here unless you invite them into this space. Breathe into this golden energy that is now surrounding your body, surrounding your soul, surrounding your even your higher self. And take this energy, and I want you to think of the 7 chakras from your root chakra to your sacral, solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown chakra. Take this energy and activate all of these chakras and feel it, see it happening, feel the warmth going up and down your spine. And with this healing energy, understand that you are protected by God. You are a divine being. You are a child of God. God is within you. And anytime throughout the day you want to just protect yourself, this is what I do, the white light. So I hope that has been helpful. This is a shortened version.
Very helpful, beautiful, feels good.
Yes, it surely does.
Yes.
It really does. Yeah, this has been far more than I ever anticipated. I was starting something, definitely. So you are fully welcome to engage us in this way. I'm sure the comments are going to be keep going, and you guys are going to be hearing from people. And yeah, let's keep this movement moving upward and forward. Let's take on these challenges as they present themselves, and let that white light prevail. Right? Breathe out that and breathe out that gray smoke, all of that negativity. Yes, give thanks for that, sisters. All right. So in that, we gotta wrap it up. We could be here all day.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Iman. God
yeah.
bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bless.
This has been amazing.
Yes, it's been amazing to host you guys. Amazing to be a part of this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring up I'm gonna start rolling comments. I'm gonna play this song and let that play out for another few minutes. And then we'll be back at it tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tune in to the dCyfa Facebook page, the dCyfa YouTube. If you're linked there, you can also go to dCyfa.com, catch any past shows, because we covered a lot of material and we'll be going in heavy tomorrow. So give thanks for tuning in. Thank you, sisters. It's Sister Circle and your testimony today. Letting the people know where you stand and why you stand for what you stand for. Give thanks. All right. So we're going to run this track. Let me make sure my music can be heard as best as it can. I'm going to take off this echo cancellation and let this track run. This is big tune. This is Desiree asking for justice.
From the unjust man, justice. We want justice. That is our only interest. Don't want no justification. From the unjust man, justice. The system fight without daily. Come to crucify the picnic. Jarrod and his staff shall comfort we. Our desires on the wicked we shall see. We want justice, that is our only interest. Don't want no justification from the unjust man, justice. We want justice, that is our only interest. when he was slain.